Chapter 491. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yi Shan communicated with Lil Kong and told him where he was and the approximate distance he would be at during the operation. Night Sorrow couldn't use spatial rend to take the space-time pagoda in close proximity. That way, he wouldn't be able to avoid the detection of Ji Yu, Yuan Hang, and the others. Most importantly, the person on top of the space-time pagoda was very strong. If they moved in close proximity, they would definitely be discovered and a battle would definitely break out. After communicating with Shao Kong, Night Sorrow and Lin Yuandao moved southwest to a courtyard where the Tianji Tower branch was located. This location was also a suitable place to fight after a problem occurred because the Tianji Tower's people had all concealed their auras and were hiding in this branch. Under normal circumstances, no one would investigate this area, including the people of the sky-bearing city's City Lord's mansion. This was because the colossal Tianji Tower wasn't something they could casually touch. After arriving at the location, Night Sorrow looked at the space-time pagoda. Although it was a bit far from the pagoda, Night Sorrow could still see very clearly. He could see anything that happened in the towering pagoda. At this moment, the pagoda began to tremble. This caused the people around the pagoda to become restless, not understanding what was going on. The pagoda's trembling caused the surrounding cornerstones to shatter and the formation to break. Everyone who was close to the pagoda was blown away. Then, energy circulated around the pagoda and a huge energy phantom that was exactly the same as the pagoda shot into the sky. At this moment, an angry snort rang out. Night Sorrow, who was about 100 miles away, heard it clearly. Then, the pagoda shrank and the tip of the pagoda moved. A black spatial rend appeared and the pagoda flashed into the spatial rend. Before the pagoda completely entered the spatial rend, a huge energy hand grabbed at it. The pagoda that was attacked spun with energy and shook the hand away. Then, it entered the spatial rend. At this moment, Night Sorrow's bloodline talent erupted and he used spatial rend to slash at the space in front of him. A hissing sound rang out as a spatial crack appeared. Although it was a thin black crack, it was still a spatial crack. However, it didn't last for long before it closed up. With a low roar, Night Sorrow once again used space rend to cut open the space in front of him. It was then that Lin Yuandao made his move. Both his hands stretched out to tear open the spatial crack, causing it to widen slightly before locking down space. Just as Lin Yuandao was about to lock down space, a beam of light flashed out and rushed into Night Sorrow's body. Space-time pagoda. Night Sorrow knew that it was the space-time pagoda that had entered his body. Seeing that the matter was settled, Lin Yuandao waved his arm and smoothed out the space, allowing the energy to stabilize. Then, the aura on his body dissipated and returned to normal. In the air above where the space-time pagoda had originally been, angry roars rang out one after another. A large hand of energy was still being controlled, clawing wildly within the spatial rift that had yet to close. "It's settled," Lin Yuandao said softly. "It went very smoothly. This is good. There won't be too much of a disturbance," said Night Sorrow, who was inspecting his body. At this time, the space-time pagoda was inside Night Sorrow's dantian. It was only 2 inches tall, and Night Sorrow's core was spinning at the top of the pagoda. Everything was so perfect and harmonious. Although there won't be a battle, the disturbance won't be small. Sky-bearing City's face will be completely destroyed. As long as they aren't stupid, they will know that the space-time pagoda has recognized a master. An ownerless spirit treasure wouldn't have such a reaction. Wu Lingfei appeared beside Night Sorrow. As long as we weren't discovered at the time, what can they do even if they find out anything? If they touch our Heaven's Fate emissary, then they must be prepared to raise the City Lord's mansion to the ground, said Lin Yuandao. Night Sorrow, what's the situation? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow stretched out his arm and the translucent space-time pagoda appeared in Night Sorrow's palm. Hurry up and put it away. Don't let your aura be detected, Wu Lingfei reminded Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and put the space-time pagoda back into his body. You really have heaven-defying luck. How many spirit treasures do you have now? You're practically a moving treasury, Lin Yuandao said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's golden phoenix flexible armor and ice silk soft clothes couldn't hide from him. That guy was heavily injured. It's Jiu Fenglan, said Wu Lingfei. He really is unlucky. I didn't think that guy would be hiding at the top of the space-time pagoda. Lin Yuandao sighed. After all, no one would have thought that the city lord of Sky-bearing City would hide at the top of the space-time pagoda after not showing himself for countless years. He's above the space-time pagoda, intercepting the space-time pagoda's energy to cultivate. The space-time pagoda has long been dissatisfied. It's only right to blast him, said Night Sorrow. So many years have passed. He hasn't grown much, said Wu Lingfei. Lin Yuandao smiled and nodded. There was no one else besides Wu Lingfei who could evaluate the city lord of Sky-bearing City like this. Supra, new chapter / Supra. If others said this, they would be bragging. However, Wu Lingfei had fought the city lords of Sky-bearing City and Taiyue City alone. Although both sides had suffered heavy injuries, her battle record had still shocked the world. That battle had made everyone know that as long as Lord Golden Phoenix and Wu Lingfei were present, the Eastern Xin region couldn't be bullied. Lord K. Andy Fei, have some tea, said Night Sorrow as he brewed a pot of tea on the stone table in the courtyard. Go back and study it properly. However, you still have to be careful. The space-time pagoda's aura is rather unique. That guy can sense it and will investigate it. He will be able to detect you when you entered the pagoda some time ago. Lin Yuandao reminded Night Sorrow. This matter can't withstand an investigation. In other words, this matter will definitely be exposed. Jiu Fenglan is an unscrupulous person. He won't start an all-out war due to the pressure of Tianji Tower, but he's still capable of sneak attacks and assassinations, said Wu Lingfei. She knew Jiu Fenglan very well. Then junior sister Wu will take Night Sorrow back to the Eastern Xin region. Some of our people have already gone there. They can deal with and crush any storm, said Lin Yuandao. Latrin Swan and Li Changtian had already stayed in the Eastern Xin region. The center of gravity of the Tianji Tower had shifted there, so the Eastern Xin region's power was naturally stronger. The several tycoons of the Tianji Tower were all great figures who could suppress a region. No matter where they were, they would be giants. In the past, the Qingtian region and Taiyue region couldn't break in, so it was even more impossible now. That's fine. If there's any problem, senior brother Lin can send a message and we'll rush over. Wu Lingfei also agreed with Lin Yuandao's decision. Our Tianji Tower's strategic teleportation array can be completed in half a month. We can face all kinds of wars at any time. Even if the headquarters is a little lacking in manpower, someone can give it a try, said Lin Yuandao with a smile. Okay, it's settled then, said Wu Lingfei. Then Lin Yuandao left. Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow to the mansion area of the Tianji Tower in a beast carriage, leaving behind Jiu Fenglan who was constantly screaming in the air. Chapter 492. Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second / Small? This is a wonderful novel for you to read. During the war with Eastern Profound Region, Jiu Fenglan's blood and qi had been frozen by Wu Lingfei's profound jade spirit qi. His meridians had been frozen and cracked, causing him to be unable to recover. In the end, Jiu Fenglan came up with a recovery method, which was to use the power of laws when the space-time pagoda absorbed the energy of heaven and earth to heal himself. As he cultivated, Jiu Fenglan's injuries slowly healed, and he comprehended the power of space. This made him very happy, and he felt that he could advance his earth attribute to the space attribute. Just as he was about to finish and enter the final stage of the attribute evolution, the space-time pagoda shook, and a strong impact of the power of space directly scattered the small amount of space energy he had condensed. It directly destroyed the space attribute Tao foundation he had condensed for a long time, causing him to lose the opportunity to enter the higher attribute Tao foundation. In addition, his injuries showed signs of relapsing. How could he not be angry? However, no matter how he attacked the spatial crack, the space-time pagoda did not appear again. Without the assistance of the space-time pagoda, Jiu Fenglan could no longer advance to the space attribute. After attacking for a while, Jiu Fenglan landed on the ground and looked at the elders of the city lord's mansion and the senior members of Jiu family who had already gathered. Who can tell me what's going on? Jiu Fenglan stared at the group of people in front of him with his blood-red eyes and asked. Everything was normal yesterday, and no one has entered the pagoda today. I don't know what happened. Jiu Yuanhang bowed and said, City Lord, did the Xiantian pagoda evolve and have its own consciousness? An old man asked. It had its own consciousness long ago, but it was hidden very deeply. Even if it had its own consciousness, such a situation would not have occurred. It should have recognized its master. Men, seal off the surroundings of the Xiantian pagoda. No matter who it is, as long as they are suspicious, arrest them. Put Sky-bearing City on the first level of alert. Jiu Fenglan directly issued a series of orders. However, Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei had already gone far away, and the two soon arrived at the mansion district. Did it go well? Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow nervously. It's going very smoothly. Chuyu, we can't go to Mount Yunwu anymore. The situation is rather serious, and it's very likely that a war will break out. Therefore, Auntie Fei and Lord K want us to return to the Eastern Profound region first. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu somewhat apologetically. Is there anything you need to do in Mount Yunwu? Wu Lingfei asked. Nothing much. I just want to report my safety. If it's not convenient, I won't go, Sikong Chuyu said. If it were any other time, it wouldn't be a big deal for me to accompany you to Yunwu Mountain. However, the current situation is special, and I have to go back to prepare for battle. Chuyu, write a letter, and I'll arrange for a senior member of Tianji Tower to deliver it, Wu Lingfei said. KQN version, first, release 3. Normally, Wu Lingfei would accompany Night Sorrow's group to Tianji Tower. However, she couldn't do so now because a war could break out at any time. As the person in charge of the Eastern Profound region, she had to be there. In addition, Tianji Tower had a big operation in the Eastern Profound region and needed her to preside over it. Most importantly, Night Sorrow would only be safe if he left the Qingtian region. Sikong Chuyu then wrote 2 letters. One was for Yang Tian of Mount Yunwu, and the other was for Sikong clan's third young master, Sikong Tianding, who was also her parents. Holding the letters, Wu Lingfei left for a while and directly handed the letters to the other senior members of Tianji Tower in the Mansion District. Then, she left the Tianji Tower's Mansion District with the 3 of them. After the massed group arrived at the teleportation formation, they directly teleported to Dongyuan City and headed for Donghua City. This time, they didn't use mounts. Wu Lingfei directly flew with them. Their speed was completely incomparable to flying mounts. What Night Sorrow's group didn't know was that not long after they teleported out of Qingtian City, the teleportation formation of Qingtian City was closed and the entire city was under martial law. Jiu Fenglan understood that the space-time pagoda had recognized a master and was taken away. If there was no one to receive them, then the space-time pagoda should still be where it was and had its own consciousness. At most, it wouldn't recognize others and wouldn't let them recognize a master, but it wouldn't cause such a big commotion. Many people were disgusted by the martial law of Qingtian City, but there was nothing they could do. In Qingtian City, the orders of the City Lord Manor were the most authoritative. Even if they were dissatisfied, they could only endure it. Staying in the Celestial Peak Pavilion, Lin Yuandao only smiled when he received the news. Jiu Fenglan's reaction was very fast, but it was too late. The change of master of the space-time pagoda not only reduced the strength of Qingtian City, but also increased the strength of Tianji Tower. At present, Night Sorrow wasn't a sovereign, so the space-time pagoda couldn't display its power. When Night Sorrow entered the sovereign realm, then Night Sorrow with the space-time pagoda would be the nightmare of all opponents. Lin Yuandao liked Yishang very much. In Lin Yuandao's heart, Yishang was still a little immature and looked a little childish. However, his clear eyes showed that Yishang's heart was pure and sunny, without any evil or dark thoughts. This was also the reason why he wanted to pull Yishang to his side and not allow the Ministry of Supervision and the 2 elders to have any ideas about him. He planned to wait and see. If Yishang successfully entered the Venerable Realm, then he would announce Yishang as the young K Lord. The Celestial Peak emissaries were the successors of Tianji Tower's leaders, but there were still uncertainties about where to take them and what arrangements to make. They were completely different from the young master. Everything went smoothly. Guo came to Lin Yuandao's side. Yes, everything went smoothly. According to the time, Master Wu Kei and the others should have left East Park City by now, Lin Yuandao said. Before Night Sorrow took the space-time pagoda, Lin Yuandao had asked Guo to lead a group of people to hide in the Tianji Tower branch, so Guo knew. The 7 heads of Tianji Tower had all gone through all kinds of trials and tests. They were loyal to Tianji Tower, so Lin Yuandao didn't hide anything. This little guy is a bit too cruel. Just one trip to Sky-bearing City and he's already trapping people so miserably. If he comes a few more times, the city lord's residents will cry, Guo said with a gloating smile on his face. His luck is good. In fact, some karma was formed when the Gu family cut off Night Sorrow's foster father's arm. This is the first confrontation, but it definitely won't be the last. It's going to be very lively in the future. Lin Yuandao said. Night Sorrow, this little guy, has been tormenting himself all this time. However, the forces around him have also risen along with him. Medicine Valley went from an unknown to a superpower in the Eastern Xian region. The Eastern Xian region is also on the rise, Guo said. Tianji Tower has to take some risks in order to raise him, but we can still bear them, Lin Yuandao said with a sigh. Chapter 493. Geniuses Remember Love in 1 Second Go? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. As the helmsman of the Empyrean Terminus Tower, Lin Yuandao felt pressure when he made some risky decisions. Let's not talk about this. Let's wait and see, Lin Yuandao said. Guo nodded and left. There were some things he had to arrange. Tianji Tower had to prepare for battle. Whether Qingtian City reacted or not, Tianji Tower had to be prepared. After a little more than half a day, Wu Lingfei brought the 3 of them to Donghua City and started the teleportation. With Wu Lingfei's help, the speed of travel increased several times. They arrived at Linhai City in Dongxian Domain in a few days. Dongxian Domain is still the best. We can teleport however we want, Night Sorrow said after handing spirit stones to the guard of the teleportation formation. This place has to be heavily guarded in the future. It's a troubled time, Wu Lingfei said. With the activation of the teleportation formation, the group teleported to Dongxian City. Dongxian City is still the most comfortable place, Yang Lei said after exiting the teleportation formation. Alright, you guys go back and rest. Aunt Fei has other things to take care of. Don't talk about this because it's very serious, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. First seat 1 inch, don't worry, Aunt Fei, Night Sorrow said to Wu Lingfei. Then Night Sorrow and the other 2 sat in the beast carriage and headed to Qingxin Cottage. Yi Shang communicated with Little Kong as he hurried along in the car. Little Kong had been furious for the past 2 days. According to Lil Kong, she was good at improving souls. With her help, Yi Shang's soul power could cultivate even faster. However, she had tried to rush towards Yi Shang's deity sea a few times, but she was blocked by the heavenly fate jewel. Shao Kong wanted to fight with the void fate pearl, but she was no match for it every time. He's so shameless. He's so domineering even though he doesn't have any intelligence. If he can't help you cultivate your soul power, why is he still in your spirit ocean? Shao Kong was very angry after being blocked again. Don't be angry. Isn't it the same if you stay in my Dantian? Night Sorrow communicated with Shao Kong. I'm not convinced. I don't know what that thing is either. Shao Kong mumbled in response. After that, Night Sorrow told Shao Kong about the heavenly fate pearl. The supreme elemental origin of a large space is indeed powerful. I can't deal with it. After listening to Night Sorrow's explanation, Shao Kong became obedient and gave up on the idea of snatching territory from the heavenly fate pearl. Just help me cultivate my Zhen Qi. I'm also helpless about the deity ocean situation. Night Sorrow communicated with Shao Kong. After this period of interaction, Night Sorrow learned some things about the space-time pagoda. There were a total of 90 levels in the space-time treasure pagoda. Below the 70th level was an ordinary cultivation space, 70th to 80th level was a space with the spatial attribute, and 80th to 90th level was a space with the time attribute. With Shao Kong's help, Night Sorrow comprehended the power of space and felt that it was very helpful to him. However, he couldn't do anything about the time attribute. The attributes were not compatible, so he couldn't absorb the power of time. Night Sorrow was very satisfied. When they were rushing, Night Sorrow tried to use the space-time treasure pagoda to suppress and kill. He directly smashed the ground a few feet deep. According to Wu Lingfei's judgment, that was the strength of a beginner's supremacy's attack. However, Night Sorrow could only smash twice. This was because he had two types of energy in his body. The first time, it sucked up all his Jin Qi, and the second time, it sucked up all the energy of his myriad Daos treasured tome. It couldn't be helped. It was very difficult to activate a high-grade spiritual treasure. Wu Lingfei reminded Night Sorrow that before entering the supremacy realm, unless he needed to save his life, he couldn't use the space-time treasure pagoda. Sikong Chuyu was worried that he would get into trouble because of the treasure. The space-time treasure pagoda had another function. Night Sorrow could enter and exit the space freely, but he couldn't bring others with him unless Shao Kong opened it. This was inconvenient during a battle. The reason why Night Sorrow was different was because his body had the space-time treasure pagoda's origin energy. The space-time treasure pagoda's artifact spirit also had his soul energy. He could enter at any time, anywhere, even during a battle. In addition, the space-time treasure pagoda could freely change its size in Night Sorrow's hands. At its smallest, it was only the size of a pinky finger. At its largest, it could be as tall as several floors. Of course, this was the extent that Night Sorrow could control it. If Shao Kong could control it, it would be fierce. It could turn into a grain of sand or reach the clouds. However, Night Sorrow couldn't control such an extreme state even with Shao Kong's help. In the end, it was because Night Sorrow's cultivation was too low. After returning to the mansion, Night Sorrow asked Aunt Feng to arrange for a sumptuous banquet. He hadn't seen his brothers for a long time, so he wanted to drink with them. Ho Jian and the others were very happy to see Night Sorrow return. They pulled Night Sorrow and drank with all their might. Night Sorrow liked the feeling of being brothers together. He didn't refuse anyone who came to drink with him. Night Sorrow's alcohol tolerance had been trained in Bamboo Garden Village. These people were no match for him. They drank until midnight before dispersing. After drinking, Night Sorrow entered the secret cultivation room and started cultivating. At the same time, he communicated with Shao Kong about how to help him cultivate faster. Shao Kong increased the speed of absorbing the energy of heaven and earth. She could absorb 3 kinds of energy of heaven and earth: ordinary energy, space energy, and time energy. In addition, Shao Kong told Night Sorrow that if Night Sorrow could enter the Venerable Realm, he could use the 60th to 70th floor of the space-time pagoda. However, the last 20 floors were different. Not only did it require the cultivation of the Sage Realm, but it also required special attributes. The last 10 floors of the space-time pagoda were treasured cultivation places that could change time. Night Sorrow didn't dare to think about it. Sage Realm? That was too far away. At present, it was hard to say whether there were any Sage Realm experts in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. Even if there were, they hadn't appeared yet. How could it be so easy to reach? The 9 regions and 18 prefectures didn't lack geniuses. After the investiture of the gods, there were many monstrous geniuses and geniuses. Wu Lingfei, Lin Yuandao, and the others, when they were young, which one of them wasn't a genius? But they still hadn't entered the Sage Realm. However, Shao Kong also said that she could let Night Sorrow absorb the power of space faster to strengthen his bloodline. Normally, there was no power of space below the 70th floor. However, as a tool spirit, Shao Kong could still change it a little. In the following cultivation, Night Sorrow felt the appearance of the power of space. Moreover, it was very pure. When it entered his body, it was refined and absorbed by the power of space circulating between the 4 bloodline energy points to strengthen his body. In addition, the space-time pagoda in his dantian was like a vortex, drawing the energy of heaven and earth into his body. After feeling it, Night Sorrow found that the space-time pagoda assisted his cultivation much faster than using resources. Not to mention these two things, the space-time pagoda could also absorb the milky white energy that could strengthen the soul to help Night Sorrow cultivate the power of the soul. This made Night Sorrow excited. As long as he had the space-time pagoda, he could save a lot of resources. At present, except for the cultivation of the myriad Tao Tome, which the space-time pagoda couldn't help, everything else was fine. Did you earn a lot after helping me? Shao Kong's voice sounded in Night Sorrow's spirit sea. Indeed. Night Sorrow replied. Chapter 494. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I will provide you with interesting novels to read. I will work hard to cultivate. Love go little, say, net, Chu. Night Sorrow said. I have high hopes for you. I will go cultivate as well. After saying this, Shao Kong went silent. Night Sorrow knew that Shao Kong needed to cultivate. Night Sorrow knew about the space-time pagoda from their previous communication. Shao Kong did not know when the space-time pagoda was forged. Shao Kong had memories of 2,000 years ago. At that time, the space-time pagoda had an owner. Shao Kong, who had her own consciousness, had been hiding in the space-time pagoda. After the owner died, Shao Kong did not allow anyone else to continue to recognize her as the owner. She took control of the space-time pagoda herself. However, Shao Kong also knew that she was not the first artifact spirit of the space-time pagoda. She had memory fragments in her body. Those were the fragments of the previous artifact spirit. Shao Kong wanted to strengthen herself now because she was still not a complete artifact spirit. She was still relatively weak. These things were not important to Night Sorrow. What was important was that the effects of the space-time pagoda were strong and its attack power was fierce. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow got up and sensed his body. Then, he went to the martial arts practice field to cultivate his spear arts. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, who had also cultivated for a night, went to the martial arts practice field and asked the maidservants to set breakfast aside. Night Sorrow cultivated for a while, washed up, and ate breakfast with the two girls. 13, you are in good shape, Yang Lei said. It's okay. Do you have enough resources? Night Sorrow asked. Not a problem. Right now, we are all using high-grade spirit stones to cultivate primary energy and soul power. One soul crystal can be used for a long time, Yang Lei said. Yes, we are not lacking in resources. If you need anything, just let me know, Night Sorrow said. Sikong Chu smiled and said, You will. We all know that you have a strong background. Chuyu, I'm very sorry. You didn't succeed this time. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chu apologetically. Isn't there an accident? You wanted to do this as well. No one can avoid accidents. After all, the matter of the space-time pagoda is too important. Sky-bearing City is probably going to be turned upside down. The 9 realms and 18 prefectures might all know about it. A beggar who loses his stick will become a joke in the 9 realms and 18 prefectures. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. That's right, said Sikong Chuyu with a smile. I think they should be able to find out. It just depends on how they deal with this matter, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. Night Sorrow had analyzed the situation. He had broken through the 59th floor with his cultivation base at the 4th void inquiry stage. He must have been marked as an important person in Sky-bearing City and would be investigated. Therefore, some things would eventually find him. However, Night Sorrow did not care about it. Using Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao's words, if they did not discover it at that time, who could prove that it was Night Sorrow who took away the Xiantian pagoda? Night Sorrow had the space-time pagoda in his hands. It had nothing to do with the Xiantian pagoda. Who was right and who was wrong? How would they judge? They would judge by strength. The one with the bigger fist would be the truth. The strength of Sky-bearing City and Jiyu clan were relative. Jiyu Fenglan could look down on others, but he had to think carefully when facing Wu Lingfei. In the past, he and the city lord of Taiyu City were not a match for her even when they joined forces. How could they do it now? Besides, before the space-time pagoda left, it gave him a hard blow, interrupting his seclusion. Not only did it cut off his path forward, but it also caused his old injuries to relapse, reducing his strength. Even he was afraid of coming to Eastern Profound region. The possibility of a realm war is not high, or rather, it is not high in the near future. Does Sky-bearing City have a chance of winning? It is impossible to start a war without a chance of winning. No one is stupid. Besides, Sky-bearing City is not something that Jiyu clan can control. There are still the elders. Sikong Chiyu said. Let's not worry about that for now. If they don't dare to start a realm war, then let's cultivate in peace. When the storm passes, we will go to Sky-bearing City and then Misty Mountain, Yang Lei said. Edition Q0 Head Plus Unspecified Currency, 9th Senior Sister. Did those 2 Thunder Attribute Crystals help you a lot? Night Sorrow asked. Very much. They strengthened my attribute power a lot. Yang Lei nodded. That's good. There are relatively few Thunder Attribute treasures. Oh right, there is something good I haven't given to Chuyu yet. Night Sorrow handed the slightly damaged Saint Crystal to Sikong Chuyu. Is this the treasure that bastard from Jiyu clan wants? Sikong Chuyu said. Yes, it is a slightly damaged Saint Crystal. It should be left behind by a saint who was killed, Night Sorrow said. Another blind person, using a Saint Crystal to sell crystal stones. Not bad, Yang Lei said with a smile. What can we do? He doesn't have enough luck. Even if there is a treasure, it will just slip through his hands. Sikong Chuyu tossed the Saint Crystal a few times and put it into his storage ring. Let's go out later and pick up some scraps. Also, we don't have any more carving materials, so we can't stop cultivating, Yang Lei said. Okay, let's go after we finish eating, Night Sorrow said. What are you talking about? Wu Lingfei walked in. Nothing, we're just going out for a walk. Aunt Fei, what's the situation outside? Night Sorrow asked. What situation can there be? It's a mess. The people of Sky-bearing City have been mobilized. On one hand, they are communicating with Tianji Tower. On the other hand, they are gathering in Eastern Xian region. They are unwilling to give up, Wu Lingfei said. They really don't want to suffer a loss after being stepped on. Night Sorrow sighed. They don't understand the situation. They don't know the relationship between Eastern Xian region and Tianji Tower. They think that after communicating with Tianji Tower, they will put pressure on us and give us some benefits. They want Eastern Xian region to hand you over, Wu Lingfei said. Then what should we do? How should we deal with it? Night Sorrow asked. It's very simple. As long as they set foot in Eastern Xian region, we will kill them all. Right now, the venerables of our City Lord's mansion and Tianji Tower are all in Waterfront City. Let them try. Wu Lingfei snorted coldly. Then I'll go later. If there's a battle, I can't hide in the back, Night Sorrow said. He was not someone who avoided responsibility. Actually, there might not be a battle. According to reliable sources, Jiyu Fenglan was at a critical moment in his seclusion and was hit by the space-time pagoda, causing serious injuries. Not to mention the old injuries, the foundation of his breakthrough was also destroyed. What will he use to fight us? Wu Lingfei said confidently. Then I'll go and take a look. If there's no battle, I'll take it as an eye-opener, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. That's fine. Although Jiyu Fenglan's combat strength has decreased, there are still many venerables in Qingtian region. It's just that they haven't reached the level of a peak venerable. They can still bare their fangs and brandish their claws, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Chapter 495. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. What's the point of baring your fangs and brandishing your claws? Victory or defeat in a region war isn't determined by the number of participants, but by the number of survivors, Wu Lingfei added when she saw that Night Sorrow still had doubts. I've troubled you again, Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow's face was full of helplessness. What he hated the most was to cause trouble for others. Don't say that. You've gained face this time. Aunt Fei doesn't have the ability. If she had the ability, she would have moved the space-time pagoda back a long time ago. Whether it's Tianji Tower or Eastern Xian region, everyone will think that you've done a good job, Wu Lingfei said as she looked at Night Sorrow's immature but determined face. Tianji Tower will have to endure the suppression of the City Lord's mansion in the Qingtian region. it still caused trouble. Night Sorrow sighed. You're still young and don't understand some things. Do you think Tianji Tower and Qingtian region can coexist peacefully? In fact, if Qingtian region could drive Tianji Tower out, they would have done it long ago. Do you think they're tolerant? Wu Lingfei said. So that's how it is. I kind of understand now. Night Sorrow exhaled, his face full of astonishment. He hadn't expected it to be so cruel. Because of the ancestral teachings, Tianji Tower won't snatch territory, but they also won't passively take a beating. While defending, they're constantly weakening the strength of Qingtian region's city lord's mansion in order to maintain a balance, Wu Lingfei said with a smile. Then I'm relieved. Since that's the case, let's fight. Yi Shan felt a burden lifted off his shoulders. Actually, it doesn't matter whether you go or not. They just want to intimidate us and see if we're afraid. They also want to test whether Aunt Fei has recovered. If Aunt Fei hasn't recovered, or if Eastern Xian region is afraid of fighting, then they've achieved their goal. Since Eastern Xian region isn't strong enough and they don't want to suffer too many losses, they can only hand you over, Wu Lingfei said with a smile. Aunt Fei has recovered. It is my fortune. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow's clean and pure smile and shook her head. Every sip and every bite is natural. You've helped Aunt Fei a lot. Aunt Fei's recovery and further achievements all came from your help, so there's no such thing as luck. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt that Wu Lingfei's words made sense. If you want to go out and play, then go out and play. Don't worry about any danger. The teleportation formation in Waterfront City is guarded by sovereigns, and the border of the Realm Sea is guarded as well. No matter if they teleport or fly over, the Eastern Xian region will react immediately and not give them a chance to invade. Wu Lingfei nodded to Night Sorrow and the others. Afterwards, Night Sorrow and the others went out to buy some materials. Night Sorrow's heart was moved. He felt that he should go visit Uncle Blacksmith. He owed Uncle Blacksmith 2 favors. Even if he didn't return the favor, he should treat him to a drink. Ninth senior sister and Chuyu, go back first. I'm going to see someone. Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Seeing the 2 girls' doubtful faces, Night Sorrow said that he was going to see Uncle Blacksmith. After hearing Night Sorrow's reason, the 2 girls relaxed and returned to their residence. Night Sorrow bought some wild game to go with the wine and rode his Tianyu to the Assassin Hall. There was an old man with blurred eyes in the Assassin Hall. He was studying something through a pair of reading glasses. Little friend, if there's anything you need my help with, write it down here. Come back tomorrow and wait for the results. The old man looked at Night Sorrow and said, I'm looking for someone. Night Sorrow said, You're not looking for me, are you? Uncle Blacksmith kicked his leather shoes into the hall. Uncle, I'm here to drink with you. Night Sorrow said. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. The blacksmith waved his hand at Night Sorrow and led him around Night Sorrow, entering a courtyard behind Fatal Blow. In the courtyard, Night Sorrow saw Sister Luo and the middle-aged man. Not bad, kid. Mrs. Luo put her hands on her hips and looked at Night Sorrow. Hello, Madame Luo. Night Sorrow greets you. Night Sorrow bowed to Madame Luo. It's indeed not bad. Sit down. You can call him Third Brother and, Mrs. Luo said. Third Brother and Night Sorrow nodded to the middle-aged man. What's with all this nonsense? You're here, aren't you just here to drink with me? Hurry up and take it out. The blacksmith shouted at Night Sorrow. PW Yankee Jojo T Free HV C_read novels NQ. Night Sorrow smiled and took out the wine. He also placed the game he was carrying on the table. Kid, I like that about you. You're not shy. The blacksmith opened the wine jar and began to pour the wine. After drinking for a while, Night Sorrow left. From beginning to end, Night Sorrow didn't say anything else. He just drank. Third Brother, how was it? The blacksmith looked at the middle-aged man, who was Third Brother, and asked. Very good. Let's not talk about other things. They're too dazzling and have nothing to do with us. Just say that his temperament is very rare. Some things don't need to be said, but he knows it in his heart. That's good, and Jingming said. The blacksmith uncle's name was Tai Yanglin. He was sworn siblings with Sister Luo and Jingming. We've heard the news. Do you think it's true? Madame Luo looked at the blacksmith and Jingming and asked, if it's false, why would the Qingtian region send people here? They're not fools. However, they must have hit a wall this time. Lord Golden Phoenix was able to defeat them in the past. This time, she'll be able to beat them until they piss their pants, the blacksmith said. We'll go and take a look later. The Qingtian region is too arrogant. Although it's not convenient for us to take action directly, we should still secretly stab a few of them to death, Jingming said. That's right. Regardless of which force we belong to, at least the Eastern Xin region is our home. We can't tolerate someone showing off in our home, the blacksmith said with the smell of alcohol. Then what are we waiting for? Tell Mu Sha later that we're going out for a walk, Madame Luo said. When Knight Sorrow returned to the mansion, it was already evening. He found that Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu had already gone to cultivate. After thinking for a while, Knight Sorrow walked towards Qinzhen's room. In the courtyard in front of the room, Qinzhen was cultivating swordsmanship. The sound of sword qi tearing through the air was constantly heard, and Qinzhen was panting. Qinzhen, what's wrong with you? Knight Sorrow found that Qinzhen's condition was not very good. Not only was he covered in sweat, but his eyes were also filled with loneliness. 13th brother. Qinzhen glanced at Knight Sorrow and sat down without saying anything. He was very depressed. What's going on? Knight Sorrow did not understand what had happened to Qinzhen. 13th brother, I'm not a person of the dark side, and I haven't done anything wrong. However, why is my attribute dark? Qinzhen looked up at Knight Sorrow helplessly. Dark attribute? What's wrong with the dark attribute? Knight Sorrow was a little puzzled. Chapter 496. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. What are you thinking about? The attributes of heaven and earth are balanced. Everyone has different affinity with attributes. What's wrong with that? Stand up straight. Knight Sorrow yelled as he pulled on Qinzhen's sleeve. Brother 13. Qinzhen was stunned by Knight Sorrow's yell. What's in your head? Does attributes have anything to do with good or evil? Knight Sorrow stared at Qinzhen and asked loudly. At this time, the people in the courtyard had all come out. They did not know what was going on, but when they saw Knight Sorrow getting angry, they did not say anything. Isn't the dark attribute an evil attribute? Qinzhen was dumbfounded by Knight Sorrow's anger. Who told you that? I'm asking you who told you that. Now listen to me. Weapons, cultivation methods, attributes, these are not factors that determine good or evil. Temperament is the only proof that determines good or evil. If one's heart is righteous, even if one cultivates a dark cultivation method and kills evil people, who can say that you are evil? Think about it carefully. Knight Sorrow let go of Qinzhen and pushed him. Knight Sorrow turned around and looked at Ho Jian and the others. I am responsible for this. What about you guys? Are you not responsible? Remember, take care of your brothers. This was discovered in time. Otherwise, it would have been easy for them to develop inner demons. Captain, it's our responsibility. After being reprimanded by Knight Sorrow, Xueling and Ho Jian bowed. Go back and rest. Qinzhen, think about it carefully. Knight Sorrow yelled again and walked towards his secret training room. He was really angry. If he had not discovered it in time today, the problem would have been very serious. Knight Sorrow was wrong to lose his temper. Please don't mind him, Yang Lei said as she watched Knight Sorrow leave. Ninth senior sister, Captain is right. It's our fault. Fortunately, we didn't make any big mistakes. You're really a bastard. Let's go. Today, I will teach you a lesson. Ho Jian pulled Qinzhen towards his room. If anyone has any problems, please communicate with each other immediately. Don't let something like today happen again. We're all brothers and sisters. Knight Sorrow doesn't want anything to happen to anyone, Yang Lei said. Ninth senior sister, don't worry. We understand the captain. We know that the captain is doing this for the good of everyone. It's our negligence, Xueling said. The next morning, while Knight Sorrow was practicing his spear techniques, the Bloodstrike Guards and the Tianji Tower team arrived at Knight Sorrow's courtyard. You're all here. My attitude wasn't very good yesterday, Night Sorrow said as he put away his reincarnation spear. No, we're here to apologize to the captain. We were indeed negligent in this matter. Ho Jian and the others cupped their hands towards Night Sorrow. After Qin Jin had reached the 4th stage, he had been recruited by Tianji Tower. He was now a patrol officer, so Night Sorrow had assigned him to Tianji Tower's team. However, Qin Jin still cultivated with the Bloodstrike Guards and the others, so he could be considered to have a status in both teams. Alright Qin Jin, you too. If you have any problems in the future, communicate with everyone. Don't take things for granted, Night Sorrow said to Qin Jin. 13th brother, I know I was wrong, Qin Jin said softly. That's enough. Although the situation has been very tense recently, there's nothing for us to do at the moment. Everyone should work hard and cultivate. Only with cultivation can we face all kinds of battles with ease, Night Sorrow said. Soon after, the group of people dispersed to cultivate. They were here to admit their mistakes. Night Sorrow put away his reincarnation spear and practiced a set of breaking killing fists before ending his cultivation and going to eat breakfast. 13th brother, there are some things that you can just say. There's no need to be so angry. Love Go Xiao Sivitiang Lei said. I was indeed a little agitated yesterday, Night Sorrow said. Some time ago, the great elder and master told you to try your best to get the 8 Dragon Cauldrons approval. Now, you don't need it at all, Yang Lei said. Yes, my space-time pagoda doesn't need the 8 Dragon Cauldron. However, it's still good to be able to communicate with it. After all, our Medicine Valley needs its help, Night Sorrow said. Then we'll go back and take a look when we have time. However, it will be a little later. Right now, we have to deal with the situation here. Even if we can't do anything, we have to stay, Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow nodded. This was a matter of attitude. After cultivating for 2 days, Night Sorrow greeted the 2 girls and told them to listen to the news. He took the teleportation array and went to Linhai City. After exiting the teleportation array, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment. This was because there were a few experts sitting cross-legged outside the teleportation array. Kuan Nan was the leader, Dai Tianxiang, Lu Zhenyu, and 2 others that Night Sorrow didn't recognize. Greetings, elders. Yi Shang bowed slightly to the elders. You're here. Linhai City is not bad. Take a look around when you're free, Kuan Nan said to Night Sorrow. I'm here to fight, Night Sorrow said. They didn't attack us. Why do you want to fight? Let's find a restaurant to drink. Dai Tianxiang said. Then I'll go to the Realm Sea to take a look, Night Sorrow said. No need. Our defense is stronger there. We're ready for a full-scale battle, Kuan Nan said with a smile. Then, Night Sorrow went to a restaurant beside the teleportation array. However, it was a little far from the teleportation array. Linhai City was in a pre-war state. Ordinary people had retreated from areas that could be affected by the battle. As soon as he went upstairs, Night Sorrow saw a familiar face. Tianji Tower's law enforcement elder Latrin Swan. He was drinking alone. You're here. Come and sit. Latrin Swan, who was dressed in a black robe, waved at Night Sorrow. Elder Li is here. Night Sorrow took out a jar of azure blood wine and poured Latrin Swan's empty bowl. He then poured a bowl for himself before sitting down. At last unspecified currency new chapter, section 3 _ How's your research on that thing going? Latrin Swan asked. It's going well. I'm sorry to have caused trouble for the elders. Night Sorrow raised his bowl to Latrin Swan. Trouble? The more trouble there is, the better. I'm just afraid there won't be any. Latrin Swan took a sip of wine and glared. He then took another sip. Night Sorrow got up and filled Latrin Swan's bowl again. The wine is good. Come. This time, it was Latrin Swan who raised his bowl to Night Sorrow. I'm relieved that the elders are here, Night Sorrow said. We also have people in the Realm Sea. The chief enforcer is there, and there are also people from the Eastern Xian region City Lord's office. You can rest assured on both sides, Latrin Swan said. Night Sorrow understands. After hearing Latrin Swan's words, Night Sorrow knew that the Eastern Xian region and Tianji Tower were ready to fight. The next step would be to see what the Qintian region situation would be. As they chatted and drank, Latrin Swan told Night Sorrow about the current situation. Chapter 497. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Why is the Taiwe domain willing to become cannon fodder in the war? Night Sorrow was puzzled. The relationship between the Qingtian domain and the Taiwe domain can be described in this way. The Qingtian domain used to start a domain war because they were worried that they wouldn't be able to handle it, so they dragged the Taiwe domain along. The Qingtian domain ate the meat while the Taiwe domain ate the bones. It's quite despicable, Latrin Swan said. In other words, they are allies with mutual benefits? Night Sorrow understood the stakes involved. Yes. The Taiwe domain is the weakest domain among the 9. If they don't ally with the Qingtian domain, the Qingtian domain will attack them. They can't handle it, so as time passed, they became despicable, Latrin Swan said. What about their strength? Night Sorrow asked. Apart from Master Wu Kei, the Taiwe domain is about the same as the Eastern Shen domain. However, with Master Wu Kei around, 2 Taiwe domains won't be able to do anything, Latrin Swan said. I understand. If they can't stand on their own 2 feet, they won't be able to develop much, Night Sorrow said. That's right. Even if they fall behind and get beaten, they have to have a backbone. Without a backbone, they might as well die. Latrin Swan nodded at Night Sorrow. At this moment, the Qingtian domain's city lord mansion had led all the clans and sects of the Qingtian domain to East Smoke City. The people of the Taiwe domain were also gathering. Latrin Swan also explained the situation in the Eastern Shen domain. Currently, the domain C was filled with the members of the Eastern Shen domain and the Tianji Tower. If the other side started a war, they would immediately seal the teleportation formation and move the battlefield to the edge of the domain C. They won't rely on the teleportation formation to attack us, right? Night Sorrow was worried that if they couldn't seal the teleportation formation, the other side would continue to teleport over. That's impossible. If it's a sneak attack, they can use the teleportation formation to sneak over. But now that we're in a stalemate, they won't have a chance to sneak over. As for those who came before us, we can seal the teleportation formation instantly or destroy it. Master Wu Kei has already made arrangements. Master Tianji Tower. That's good. I feel more at ease now that you've said that, Yi Shan said with a smile. We have to be steadfast. If they attack, there are only 2 routes, Waterfront City and the Realm Sea. We have to fight our way through. Yes, we can penetrate their hinterland at any time. Master Wuk wants to cripple the Taiwe domain and take East Smoke City. That way, Waterfront City will be in our hands, and they won't be able to enter the Eastern Profound region. Latrin Swan said. These things were absolute secrets of Tianji Tower and Eastern Shen region. However, Night Sorrow could be considered an absolute upper echelon of Tianji Tower. He didn't hide anything. Night Sorrow was stunned. This method was too heaven-defying. It was simply unimaginable. In other words, if Eastern Shen region wanted to, they could only attack others. Others couldn't attack them even if they wanted to. Let them fight first. Once they've suppressed their arrogance, we'll counterattack, Latrin Swan said. Then you must inform me, Night Sorrow said. If you have nothing to do, just stay in Tianji Tower's Linhai City branch. The war will probably break out soon. I haven't fought for many years. Now is a good time to stretch my muscles, Latrin Swan said. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow bid farewell to Latrin Swan and went to Tianji Tower's branch. He planned to rest in Tianji Tower's branch and wait for the war to break out. In Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow saw many people. He didn't know them, but he couldn't see the cultivation of most of them. Love Go, Little, Say Chu. These people bowed to Night Sorrow when they saw him. The mask he wore represented his identity and status. Celestial emissaries had to be respected in Tianji Tower. The staff arranged a room for Night Sorrow on the top floor of Tianji Tower. When he was about to enter the room, Night Sorrow saw a woman come out of another room. The woman was also wearing a mask. The mask was exactly the same as Night Sorrow's. You are? The woman wearing the Celestial Fate mask asked. Night Sorrow. May I ask who you are? Night Sorrow reported his name. I'm Ling Long, the woman said. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to the woman and entered the room. Ling Long didn't say anything as she looked at Night Sorrow's back. She walked to the edge of the pavilion and looked at Linhai City. The situation was turbulent. The higher-ups of Tianji Tower felt that the Eastern Xian region's Tianji Tower was even safer than the headquarters. Therefore, they arranged for Celestial Fate envoy Ling Long, who needed protection, to be sent to the Eastern Xian region. It wasn't that the headquarters of Tianji Tower wasn't safe. It was just that the general environment wasn't as safe as the Eastern Xian region. What Night Sorrow didn't know was that in the past few days, Tianji Tower had transferred some people from the other 8 regions. They planned to completely establish the Eastern Xian region's unshakable position this time. At the same time, they wanted to cripple the Taiyue region. This way, Tianji Tower's development in the Eastern Xian region would be smooth. Original X First L** release. After entering the room, Night Sorrow sat down and cultivated. When he met another Celestial Fate envoy from Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow was very surprised. However, he didn't feel that anything was wrong. On the 3rd day of Night Sorrow's arrival in Linhai City, Wu Lingfei arrived and directly went to the room where Night Sorrow was meditating. "Aunt Fei, you're here." Night Sorrow stood up and greeted her. "According to the news, the battle will break out tomorrow. As for what kind of battle it will be, it's hard to say," said Wu Lingfei. "Mistress Wu Kei, our East Smoke City's teleportation formation crystal has dimmed. It seems that they've already shut it down. They don't plan on letting us teleport over. This seat has also ordered people to shut down the teleportation formation. This way, the battle can only take place in the Realm C." Latrin Swan walked in with Ling Long. Ling Long greets Mistress Wu Quebec. Ling Long bowed to Wu Lingfei. "Night Sorrow, let me introduce you. This is our other Celestial Fate envoy from Tianji Tower. You can call her senior sister Ling Long. Ling Long, this is Night Sorrow. You should know about his situation. Take care of him in the future." Wu Lingfei introduced Ling Long and Night Sorrow to each other. "Mistress Wu Kei, rest assured." Ling Long bowed. "The two of you don't need to participate in the battle this time. However, you still need to experience this kind of battle. This seat has already told Chief Enforcer and Supervisor Lan that if they don't participate in the battle, they'll protect you," said Wu Lingfei. "Mistress Fei, I can't kill sovereigns, but I can still kill those below sovereigns," said Night Sorrow. "Killing enemies can be done at any time, but this kind of great battle is rare, because there are supreme experts of various attributes. Look at how they fight, look at the supreme skills of various attributes. This is a rare opportunity." Wu Lingkai shook his head. "Yes, there are many opportunities to kill enemies, but not many opportunities to gain experience. Tianji Tower has many sovereigns. We want you to become invincible in the same realm, so gaining experience is very important. Put yourself in their shoes and see how you deal with it," said Latrin Swan. Night Sorrow and Ling Long nodded. Chapter 498. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Some distance away from the Realm C, there were many large tents. Although he did not see anyone, Night Sorrow could feel an oppressive aura. Then, the group of people went to the big tent in the middle. There were many people in the tent, including the Eastern Xian region's City Lord Manor's Protector Elder Kun Nan, Grand Commander Qin Nan, and several other Grand Elders. There were even more people in Tianji Tower. Li Chang Tian, Lei Hui In Shui, and Ho Yuan were all present. Lei Hui's identity is known to all of you. Not only is he the law enforcement elder of the City Lord's mansion, but he is also the Deputy Palace Master of Tianji Tower. This seat is the same. This seat came a little late in the last Realm War, and as a result, the old City Lord died from serious injuries. This seat took over the City Lord's position. Because I am still the Deputy Palace Master of Tianji Tower, I have not revealed my identity. This subordinate understands. Everyone in the tent stood up, including Latrin Swan and Li Chang Tian. They knew that Wu Lingfei's announcement meant that she no longer had a knot in her heart. "Alright, then tell me the details of the mission." Wu Lingfei then began to assign tasks. First was Chief Enforcer Li Changtian. His mission was to protect Night Sorrow and Exquisite. Li Changfeng cupped his hands and accepted the order. The safety of the two Heaven's Fate emissaries was a big deal, and it was a big deal for Tianji Tower. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao, say, www.taichuxis. See, it had been many years since Tianji Tower had produced a member who had completely passed the Heavenpole 5-star assessment. In the past, it had been a combination of 3-star and 4-star assessments. There hadn't been anyone who had truly passed the 5-star assessment in recent years. The appearance of Night Sorrow and Exquisite meant the future of Tianji Tower and an era, so they had to be protected. Following this, it was time to make arrangements for the battle. In order to avoid too many casualties, Wu Lingfei decided to send out the most powerful forces and directly slaughter the enemies before sending out the rest. After making arrangements, Li Changtian and Lan Yuxuan took Yishang and Ling Long to walk around the tents. Night Sorrow couldn't see through the cultivation levels of the people he saw. Some of them were from the City Lord's mansion, while others were from Tianji Tower. Chief Protector, why is everyone's cultivation base so high? Aren't there any low-level battles? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. Do you think the regional war is a war for everyone? Actually, that was not the case. Low-level cultivators were not of much use in a realm war. Besides, neither side was willing to kill low-level cultivators. It was enough to control the situation by killing the higher-ups of the other side. Low-level cultivators were resources. If they were killed, what was the point of seizing territory? Actually, it's just a battle between venerable realm experts. A little lower would be the late void inquiry stage. Li Changtian said. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt a little rueful because he couldn't even meet the minimum requirement to participate. After walking around, they returned to the tent. At this moment, there was no tense atmosphere in the tent. While everyone was meditating, a man entered the tent. Mistress Wu Kei, they have already set off. There are 2 airships in the sky, but I don't know the exact number of people. This subordinate didn't get too close. The man said, All right, they have already set off. It will take them about half a day to get here. Let's prepare for the battle. Once the battle begins, Elder Kun Nan will activate the formation and not give them a chance to escape. Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow knew that a great battle was coming, but he wasn't worried because the people gathered here were too strong. Wu Lingfei, Le Trin Xuan, and Li Changtian were the true giants. Although Li Changtian didn't participate in the battle, his deterrence was still there. Lei Hua Kuinan In Shui, Ho Yuan, and Qi Nan were also experts. Night Sorrow's emotions were a little complicated. He was a little worried as he looked forward to it. In the afternoon, rumbling sounds could be heard in the sky above the realm sea, and 2 huge warships appeared. The ship was very fast. It passed through the sky above the realm sea and arrived in front of the Eastern Xian region's camp. Latest 9 New, D Chapter 50 above CJ. Then, 30 people flew out of the ship, and the ship was taken away. Jiyu Fenglan, Li Fenyu, you 2 really dared to come. It's a little different from what I expected. I thought you would send some cannon fodder to test the depth. Since you've come, don't go back this time. Wu Lingfei's body shook and the Golden Phoenix soft armor appeared on her body. Golden Phoenix, what's the point of fighting head-on? As long as you hand over the Xiantian Tower, we will retreat now. A man with long gray hair and a sharp face said with a fierce aura. Jiyu Fenglan, you can't retreat just because you want to. Last time, both sides suffered. This time, it won't happen again. And Li Fengyu, I also admire you for daring to come. Then let's fight. After saying this, Wu Lingfei soared into the sky. A pale green halo appeared on her body. Then, a sparkling and translucent longsword appeared and shot towards Jiyu Fenglan. Life attribute, you've completely recovered. Jiyu Fenglan's body flashed and retreated. It's too late to know now. Wu Lingfei waved the longsword in her hand, and sword light shot towards Jiyu Fenglan. At this time, Wu Lingfei's attack speed was extremely fast. Jiyu Fenglan couldn't dodge, so he put up a protective chi shield. It was a yellow protective chi shield. How is this possible? You were hit by my earth oscillating fist back then. It's impossible to recover the loss of blood and qi. Jiyu Fenglan roared while defending. You're a half-cripple with shrunken meridians. How dare you be arrogant in my eastern profound region? Today I'll kill you. Life chain. Wu Lingfei roared out while countless light green chains appeared in the air, directly trapping Jiyu Fenglan's khaki-colored defensive light screen and himself inside it. Rule power, half-step Saint Realm. How can you master the power of rule? Jiyu Fenglan roared hysterically. In the past, when Jiyu Fenglan fought Wu Lingfei alone, although he was at a disadvantage, he could still hold on. But now, Jiyu Fenglan couldn't hold on at all. They weren't on the same level at all. I'm sorry. You're not improving, and even regressing. But I'm improving. So, you've come to the wrong place to attack my eastern profound region. Today, your people won't be leaving. Wu Lingfei's life chain tightened, completely suppressing Jiyu Fenglan. At this time, other people were also fighting. Latrin Xuan and Li Fengyu were fighting. Latrin Xuan was stronger than Li Fengyu, but it was impossible for him to end the battle quickly. After all, Li Fengyu was also the #1 figure of Taiyue region. In the battle of other venerables, Eastern Profound Region and Tianji Tower also had the upper hand. No, Eastern Profound Region isn't so strong. You're from Tianji Tower. I refuse to accept this, I refuse to accept this. Break for me. Jiyu Fenglan knew that something was wrong. After ruling Qingtian region for so many years, his wisdom was not low. After roaring, a blood-red light appeared in Jiyu Fenglan's protective qi shield. Unable to withstand Wu Lingfei's attack, he used a secret skill and burned his blood essence to resist. Don't you think it's too late? Wu Lingfei snorted coldly. Her life chain continued lashing out. At the same time, she waved her hand and sent out a sword to the side, cutting a venerable who came to help Jiyu Fenglan in half from head to toe. Chapter 499. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Bang! Along with a muffled boom, Jiyu Fenglan's body was sent flying away by Wu Ling Concubine's mysterious jade hand. His entire body was covered in ice cubes, and was almost frozen. Jiyu and Fenglan were sent flying back to the Realm Sea. Then, with a miserable groan, Jiyu Fenglan shattered the ice. Next, a flying ship appeared. Jiyu Fenglan screamed and entered the flying ship. He screamed because the laws of the Realm Sea were attacking his spirit sea. Wu Lingfei couldn't enter the Realm Sea. Even if she did, she would have to face the attacks of the laws against the Divine Sea. She directly sent out several sword lights to attack the flying ships in the sky. However, the ships still managed to escape. Jiyu Fenglan, remember this. From now on, you can only be a coward. The next time I see you, I will kill you. Wu Lingfei shouted at the flying ship, then turned around and charged towards the supremacies from the Qingtian domain and Taiyue domain. J Original Version W. Release plus Ice Space, Life Chain, Mysterious Jade Hand, Sword Chi Chop. Wu Ling Concubine used all her killing moves. Even Jiyu and Fenglan couldn't withstand it, so the other warriors could only be killed. Right now, this was Wu Lingfei's battlefield. After using frozen space and life chains to control her, Mysterious Jade Hands and Sword Chi Slash were her killing moves. Love Go Little Saith, Ice Attribute, Life Attribute. After a period of time, Lord Wu Kei's strength has soared again. She's half a step into the Saint Realm. She's destined to dominate an era. Li Changtian looked at the battlefield with some emotion. Right now, the battlefield was a one-sided slaughter. The venerables of the Eastern Xian region and Tianji Tower only needed to pin down their opponents, while Wu Lingfei reaped their lives. So domineering. Exquisite said with some emotion. Her eyes under the mask followed Wu Lingfei's figure. Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei, whose hair and dress were fluttering in the wind, and was greatly shocked. This was an invincible being. Killing venerables was as easy as pie. The battle had only been going on for an hour, and only Li Fengyu was left. There was blood on Li Fengyu's body, and his hair was messy. Latrin Xuan retreated because he knew that Wu Lingfei and Li Fengyu still had old scores to settle. Li Fengyu, you didn't expect this day, did you? Back then, You were willing to be a lackey of the Qingtian region. I was too weak, so I could only fight until both sides suffered. But this time, the result is different, said Wu Lingfei. The winner is the king, and the loser is the bandit. I accept my fate, but I didn't expect Tianji Tower to participate in such a battle, Li Fengyu said as blood flowed from his shoulder. Li Fengyu, in fact, we are just here to wave the flag and shout. Golden Phoenix alone is not someone you can contend against. It's just that the Eastern Profound region will suffer some losses. The ones who will lose will still be you. Le Trin Xuan said with a smile. Indeed, if I don't defeat you, Golden Phoenix, I won't be able to enter the Eastern Xian region. I also admit that I'm not your opponent, so there's no need to continue fighting. I'm unwilling, really unwilling. Li Fengyu's eyes were filled with desolation. That was the desolation of an expert. What else are you unwilling to accept? You became a lackey of the Qingtian region and an accomplice of Ji Yufenglan. How can you still be unwilling? Wu Lingfei roared. Ji Yufenglan is not worthy. Golden Phoenix, let me remind you that the Qingtian region's strength isn't what it seems to be. I, Li Fengyu, am not a spineless person. I was just forced to do this for the sake of the Taiyue region. Li Fengyu slashed his own neck. I, Li Fengyu, am sad and helpless. Perhaps you, Golden Phoenix, can help me vent my anger. Li Fengyu fell down after saying that. What's going on? Le Trin Xuan said with furrowed brows. He meant that he had no choice. It seems that there are still things we don't know about the Qingtian region, Wu Lingfei said after thinking for a moment. Although Li Fengyu can't be called an invincible venerable, he is still a big shot. We still underestimated the Qingtian region to be able to make him submit, Le Trin Xuan said. Let's not worry about that for now. Let's take down the East Smoke City and then take control of it. Lei Hua, you make full arrangements. I have to take that step. Otherwise, I won't be able to deal with some things, Wu Lingfei said. Don't worry, Mistress Wu. I don't have anything else to do. I will take care of things with Lei Hua. You can go about your business. Le Trin Xuan said. Based on Li Fengyu's words, everyone guessed that the Qingtian region had experts stronger than Ji Yufenglan. That's good. Inform the Chief K Master about this. Our peak combat strength must be improved. Only then can we face the coming storm, Wu Lingfei said. Okay. Le Trin Xuan nodded. Lei Hui In Shui, take people to clean up the battlefield. Take 1/3 of the resources from the City Lord Mansion, 1/3 from the Tianji Tower, and the other 1/3 for elderly. Bury their corpses. Li Fengyu is a famous figure. Set up a monument for him, Wu Lingfei said. Wu Lingfei left after that. She felt that something was wrong. Only a saint could make Li Fengyu submit. At the very least, he was a half-step saint. Taiyue region became the Qingtian region's lackey a few hundred years ago. At that time, the Qingtian region already had a saint or a half-step saint. It was a big deal. After a few hundred years, who knew what realm he was at now? Then, some people cleaned up the battlefield. Some people made arrangements for the next battle. You too, what do you think? Li Changtian looked at Night Sorrow and Ling Long and asked. Strong. Tragic. Lord Wu Kei is too strong. If she just fought and didn't run, she could kill a group of them. Nearly 30 venerables died just like that. It's too tragic. Ling Long said. Night Sorrow, what do you think? Li Changtian looked at Night Sorrow. The strong are respected. Only those with big fists can control the situation. If Aunt Fei doesn't have the strength, then our Eastern Xian region will definitely suffer a very serious blow. It's hard to say who is buried in the ground, said Yishang. You've seen the elemental battle skills of those venerables. In the future, you should know how to defend and how to break them. They used their lives to show it. It's the essence. Li Changtian said. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Li Changtian. Ling Long also bowed. The celestial terminus emissaries had a high status, but they were also the descendants and successors of Tianji Tower. You two go back and do what you need to do. This has nothing to do with you. You don't need to worry. Li Changtian said. Where should I go? Ling Long asked. Do as you see fit. Anywhere is fine. Night Sorrow, arrange it for him. Li Changtian said. Chapter 500. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with interesting novels to read. Senior sister Ling Long, please. Night Sorrow said to Ling Long after listening to Li Changtian's arrangement. Then I'll have to trouble you, junior brother Yi, Ling Long said. Alright, don't be so polite. Let's go back. Li Changtian said. Night Sorrow and Ling Long arrived at the teleportation array in Linhai City. The teleportation array in Linhai City only closed the one leading to Taiyue region's Dongyan City. It did not affect Dongxian City. Then, the two teleported to Dongxian City. I always thought that Dongxian region was very backward. Fortunately, it's still better than Taiyue region, Ling Long said. I'll first bring senior sister Ling Long to my mansion to familiarize herself with it. Then, I'll send senior sister Ling Long to the Celestial Peak Tower branch. That way, senior sister Ling Long can find me if anything happens, Yishang said. Then, Night Sorrow released Tianyu, and Ling Long released a silver sparrow without a single strand of mixed feathers. When the two arrived in the sky above Qingxing Cottage, Night Sorrow said to Ling Long, "This is my mansion. If you need anything, you can come here." Ling Long nodded and did not say anything. Then, Night Sorrow brought Ling Long to the Tianji Tower branch and found Jiao Qing. Jiao Qing arranged for Ling Long to stay in a courtyard behind Tianji Tower and left. Love Go Xiao say, W. Chu, senior sister Ling Long, here's some tea and wine. If you need anything, just call me. Night Sorrow took out a pot of tea and 2 jars of wine and jumped on Tianyu's back. Junior brother Yi, sometimes when a guest arrives, you have to invite them in, Ling Long said when she saw Night Sorrow get on Tianyu's back. Standing behind Tianyu, Night Sorrow was stunned. He had not thought about this before. Night Sorrow felt that only acquaintances should be invited into the house. Seeing Exquisite wave her hand, Night Sorrow rode on Tianyu and left. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt that he had made Exquisite think too much. It was easy for Exquisite to think that he was rejecting people. Night Sorrow also felt that there was no need to explain. Home was a warm place, and of course, they would receive acquaintances. After returning to the mansion, Ho Jian and the others surrounded him. Captain, what's the situation now? Can you guys let me drink a glass of water first? Night Sorrow looked at Ho Jian and the others and asked. Captain, drink some water first. Ho Jian took the tea that Yang Lei brewed and poured a cup for Night Sorrow. Seeing Night Sorrow drink the water, Yang Lei said, I saw Tianyu above the mansion just now. Why did he leave? Night Sorrow then explained why he had left after returning home, and the situation at the Realm Sea battlefield. Lord K dominated the battle alone, forcing the Sky-bearing City's City Lord to flee and forcing the Taiyue City's City Lord to commit suicide. That's too ruthless, Ho Jian said with some surprise. Yes, that scene was very shocking. I couldn't imagine it if I hadn't seen it. Night Sorrow nodded. Captain, if you don't have the qualifications to participate, then we have even less of a chance. It seems that we still have to work hard. Ho Jian's face was full of regret. Then everyone dispersed. The news that Night Sorrow brought back shocked everyone. Most IH News/M Chapter T Section YGK Intersection C20 to 30 Venerables died in a single realm war. That was too terrifying. Even the total number of Venerables in the Eastern Xian region did not reach that number. Night Sorrow got up and went to the observation tower. However, he did not see Wu Lingfei in the tower. Night Sorrow did not see her. After returning to the main building, Night Sorrow chatted with Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. What you said means that the Qingtian region was already a peerless expert hundreds of years ago. AI Go Xiao say Wang. Chu Sikong Chuyu said after hearing what Night Sorrow said to Li Fengyu before his death. Is it possible that his lifespan has already reached its end? Yang Lei asked. It's almost impossible. Void Inquiry stage experts have a lifespan of 500 years while Venerables have a lifespan of 800 years. This is not absolute. First of all, it has to do with one's attributes. Water, life and death attributes can increase one's lifespan. Take 13 for example. Other Void Inquiry stage experts have a lifespan of 500 years, but he has a lifespan of 500 years. His qi and blood are churning and his essence qi is emitting smoke of several zhang *3, 33 m per zhang. His lifespan will be longer than ordinary venerables. Sikong Chu said. If he doesn't die, it will be a problem. This is really a chaotic world. Yang Lei said with a sigh. The most important thing is to have a peerless expert. If a venerables were to appear now, they would be able to sweep across the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. They would definitely be able to suppress an era. However, according to Aunt Fei, venerables wouldn't dare to appear easily. Night Sorrow said. Venerables are invincible. Once they appear, they will be able to sweep across the world. Why wouldn't they dare to appear? Yang Lei asked in puzzlement. Because low-level venerables are just materials. Saint crystals can allow venerables to enter the venerables realm. If they are killed, they will become the foundation for others to advance. Who knows what's going on in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures? You are a venerables. If you appear now, what about stronger venerables? Night Sorrow looked at the 2 ladies and said, There's always a higher mountain. It's really hard to say. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu both nodded. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He was currently at the 5th level of the Void Inquiry stage. However, he knew that Ling Long was at the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage. There was a gap of 3 levels between them. Therefore, he had to work harder. For the next few days, Night Sorrow stayed at home and cultivated. With the help of the Time and Space Treasure Pagoda, Night Sorrow was able to save a lot of resources. Moreover, his cultivation speed did not fall behind. After Night Sorrow cultivated for half a month, Wu Lingfei returned with Ling Long. Night Sorrow, this is your fault. How could you just leave Ling Long alone in Tianji Tower? Wu Lingfei said while walking towards the tower. I'm sorry. I've been a little busy with my cultivation recently. Night Sorrow looked at Ling Long apologetically. After entering the tower, Wu Lingfei sat down. She also asked Night Sorrow and Ling Long to sit down. Aunt Fei, are you different now? Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei and asked. I've broken through. Also, there's one more thing I want to tell you. Venerables have really appeared in the Qingtian region. However, it depends on who is stronger. The battle will be held half a month later at the border of the Eastern Profound Region's Realm C. If I lose, the 2 of you will have to go into seclusion with the higher-ups of Tianji Tower. You can only come out when you can resist the venerables or when you receive the news of the venerables of the Qingtian region. Wu Lingfei said, There's really a venerables in the Qingtian region? Night Sorrow stood up in surprise. Yes. His nickname is Venerables Supporting Heaven. There was a person called Venerables Supporting Heaven in the past. He should have advanced. He has already sent a letter of challenge to the Tianji Tower. He said that he wants to test Aunt Fei's unrivaled combat power. Wu Lingfei said. Shameless. When he sent the letter of challenge, Master Wu Kei was still a venerables. He's just a venerables. He has no bottom line. Ling Long was a little angry. It doesn't matter. Because of the pressure, Aunt Fei has also broken through. It's still unknown who will win. However, we have to make more plans. If Aunt Fei loses, Tianji Tower will go into seclusion and develop secretly. The Eastern Profound Region will also fall, Wu Lingfei said. Ling Long and Night Sorrow didn't say anything because they couldn't do anything about the situation. Chapter 501. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? We will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Don't worry, Auntie Fei. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow nodded. Ling Long will remember your teachings. Ling Long nodded. After leaving Wu Lingfei's tower, Night Sorrow was very worried. In Night Sorrow's heart, Wu Lingfei was not just the branch master of Tianji Tower and Dongxian City's city lord, she was also his family. What are you thinking about? Don't tell me you don't even plan to receive guests? Ling Long looked at Night Sorrow and said, Auntie Feng, arrange a guest room for this young lady. Treat her well. She is no different from family. He just happened to see Auntie Feng and told her. After looking at Night Sorrow, Ling Long and Auntie Feng went to look at the guest room. After standing in place for a while, Night Sorrow communicated with Shao Kong, asking if Shao Kong could help him and lend it to Wu Lingfei for a while. You are very brave. Aren't you afraid that she won't return it to you? However, the situation is so serious. If I don't help you, once your Auntie Fei is defeated, you will definitely complain to me. Besides, as long as I don't agree, no one will be able to take her away from me. Shao Kong said. With Shao Kong's approval, Yi Shang returned to concubine Wu Lingfei's observation tower. Why are you back? Are you worried about Auntie Fei? It's fine. Even if he is not a match, it will not be easy for him to win. This is the foundation of a high-level attribute. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. I believe Auntie Fei, but I am still worried, so Auntie Fei can use this first. Night Sorrow waved his hand and took the space-time treasure pagoda. Auntie Fei cannot use this. A spirit treasure that recognizes its master cannot be used by others. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. She was very happy because Night Sorrow really cared about her. In the past, no one had thought of her so seriously. Auntie Fei, I talked to Shao Kong. She is willing to help me. Night Sorrow said. Little Kong. Wu Lingfei was stunned. It's the space-time treasure pagoda's artifact spirit. Auntie Fei, you can try it first, Night Sorrow said anxiously. He was worried that Wu Lingfei would reject him. All right. Wu Lingfei took the space-time pagoda from Night Sorrow's hands. The space-time treasure pagoda shook in Wu Lingfei's hand before stabilizing. After that, Wu Lingfei closed her eyes and communicated with Shao Kong. After a while, Wu Lingfei opened her eyes. Very good. Aunt Fei is more confident now. To put it bluntly, even if she is not a match for him, it would be difficult for him to kill Aunt Fei. Since Auntie Fei is confident, I am relieved. Night Sorrow breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. I'm very confident. The space-time pagoda specializes in defense. Furthermore, Auntie Fei is a life attribute cultivator. Even if she is injured, she will need only a short amount of time to recover. If the opponent is strong, then we'll just have to fight a battle of attrition, Wu Lingfei said with a smile. That's great. Night Sorrow clenched his left hand into a fist and punched his right palm. Being able to help Wu Lingfei made him feel very gratified. After hearing Wu Lingfei's words, he felt even more confident. Alright, don't worry. Aunt Fei will go to the mountain in the north of the city and communicate with the space-time pagoda, Wu Lingfei said as she stood up. Most New Chapters Section B. Why after Wu Lingfei left, Night Sorrow returned to the secret room to cultivate. Without the space-time treasure pagoda's assistance, Night Sorrow could only use his origin spirit liquid and soul crystals. Of course, he had been using the black tortoise crystal all this time because the space-time treasure pagoda could not help him cultivate the myriad Daos treasured tome. After cultivating for an entire night, Night Sorrow went to the courtyard to cultivate his spear arts. The masked Ling Long also watched from the side. However, Night Sorrow did not mind. After Night Sorrow cultivated for a while, the Sikong Chuyu brewed a pot of tea for Night Sorrow and called for Night Sorrow to rest. Senior Sister Ling Long, these two are my fiancés. They are also the supervisors of Tianji Tower. If it's convenient for you, you can sit down and have a cup of tea. If it's not convenient, Night Sorrow did not know what to say. He could not say that it was not convenient for her to watch them drink tea. We're all from Tianji Tower. There's no need to avoid arousing suspicion. Ling Long took off her mask. After glancing at Ling Long, Night Sorrow gestured for her to sit. Ling Long had a beautiful face and a pair of spirited eyes. The only difference was that she had a head of golden hair. After drinking the tea, Night Sorrow continued to practice his spear arts. Night Sorrow was now practicing his spear arts. He was either practicing his moves or following his heart. He was searching for the feeling of being one with the spear. He wanted to be one with the spear, and the spear as a part of his body. Yang Lei and Sikong Chu also began to practice. The two of them fought fiercely. Both of them had the same level of cultivation and strength. Only when they fought with all their strength would they be able to increase their strength. In the past, Sikong Chuyu had advanced to sky blue, and her water attribute was stronger. However, Yang Lei had used a thunder attribute crystal to strengthen her attribute. Her combat strength had caught up. Aren't you afraid of them getting hurt? Ling Long asked Night Sorrow, who had stopped cultivating. I'm afraid. However, injuries can be healed. If their combat strength increases, they will be able to avoid some risks in life and death battles in the future. Night Sorrow said. You're right. Getting hurt now is much better than getting hurt in a real battle. Ling Long nodded and left. She also needed to cultivate. Moreover, she was worried. Night Sorrow's heart was very calm. After lending the space-time pagoda to Wu Lingfei, he was confident that as long as Wu Lingfei remained undefeated, everything would be fine. However, Ling Long's heart was different. In Ling Long's heart, if the Tianji Tower and Eastern Xian region were suppressed by the Qingtian region in terms of peak experts, then the Tianjin Tower could only secretly confront the Qingtian region. It could even be said that the various branches would have to be removed. If the Qingtian region was eliminated, then the losses would be great. The Eastern Xian region would also fall. Just as Wu Lingfei had said, she could sweep through the Assassination Hall's branches in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. If she couldn't deal with the sky-raising saint of the Qingtian region, then the situation would be reversed. Night Sorrow cultivated every day. At night, he cultivated his foundation. During the day, he cultivated his spear arts, movement arts, and fist arts. Ling Long also came over every day. Although he knew that she was worried, Night Sorrow didn't say anything. He also didn't want to tell anyone about the space-time pagoda. After another cultivation session, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea. You heartless person. Aren't you worried? Ling Long asked as she looked at Night Sorrow, who was wiping his sweat. I'm not worried because I have confidence in Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow said. All right, you win. Ling Long felt helpless towards Night Sorrow's words. However, she couldn't refute it. Are you used to living here? Night Sorrow changed the topic. Used to it. If I say I'm not used to it, won't you kick me out? Ling Long glanced at Night Sorrow. Senior sister Ling Long, you have a lot of resentment towards me. I didn't invite you in the first time because I felt that home is a warm place. I only entertain friends and family, or at least acquaintances. Night Sorrow said. I understand. It makes sense. Ling Long said. Night Sorrow nodded. After drinking the tea, he continued cultivating. He cultivated the Annihilation Fist art and the mysterious Jade Hands. As his body's strength increased, his body became a weapon. Night Sorrow could now cultivate the last stage of the Heaven Covering Hand. However, Night Sorrow planned to wait. The Heaven Covering Hand required too much energy. Chapter 502. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Is that okay? I'm afraid I'll be scolded. Baidu search, love, go, xiao, shua, www.taichuexus.com, Night Sorrow said. You're a man, what are you afraid of? The Battle of the Saints is rare. If you don't witness it, you'll regret it in the future, Ling Long said. That works too. If you're not afraid, why should I be? If the chief enforcer and the others reprimanded me, they would be reprimanding you, the senior sister. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You still want to trick me? Let's go. Ling Long said. Night Sorrow greeted the others and brought Ling Long to the teleportation formation. They teleported to Waterfront City and arrived at the camp at the edge of the Realm Sea. Normally speaking, since the Realm War had ended, those who should have retreated should have retreated. The Realm Sea battlefield should have calmed down. But that wasn't the case. There were still many people here who were here to cheer for Wu Lingfei. In addition, Night Sorrow didn't know that Tianji Tower was prepared to fight to the death. Even if they had to use people and venerables, they had to fight Skyscraping Saint. This was to fight for a chance for Tianji Tower. Once Skyscraping Saint won, the problem would be serious. It would be a disadvantage that no venerables could recover from. In the middle tent, Night Sorrow saw Lin Yuandao, who was wearing a golden mask, and a woman wearing a golden mask. Nonsense. Why are you here? Don't you know how dangerous this place is? Lin Yuandao shouted at Night Sorrow and Exquisite. Since junior brother Knight wants to broaden his horizons, Ling Long will accompany him. Ling Long did not hesitate to throw Night Sorrow out. Scam, very scam. Night Sorrow recalled Exquisite's words. He wondered who was trying to trick who. Now, he was the one who was being tricked. Although it's a little reckless, it's a good idea. This kind of opportunity is hard to come by. Lin Yuandao patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. Spirited eyes. His soul power foundation is very strong. His blood energy is surging. His body has reached a very high level of maturity, said the golden-masked woman. I didn't introduce her to you. This is Deputy Chief K. Lord Tai Shu Yen. Lin Yuandao introduced her to Night Sorrow and Exquisite. Night Sorrow greets Vice Palace Master Tai Shu. Night Sorrow bowed. Ling Long greets Vice Palace Master Tai Shu. Ling Long also bowed in greeting. She was the celestial pole emissary before Night Sorrow, but she had only been to a few of the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. She had never seen the 2 palace lords before. Our Tianji Tower has a successor. With you 2 celestial terminus envoys and the other celestial terminus 4 stars and 3 stars celestial terminus examinees, even if we die in battle, there won't be any problems in the future, Tai Shu Yen said. Yes, we have a successor. We don't have to worry about dying in battle. Elderly, I'll leave the task of protecting and nurturing them to you, Lin Yuandao said to Le Trinswan. Le Trinswan nodded with a solemn expression. He knew that Lin Yuandao was entrusting him. If everyone died in battle, then he would be responsible for nurturing Night Sorrow and Exquisite, and once again develop Tianji Tower. Don't be so pessimistic. This seat won't necessarily lose. The tent opened, and Wu Lingfei wearing a golden mask walked in. Junior Marshal Sister Wu. Lin Yuandao greeted. Senior Marshal Sister Wu, long time no see. Tai Shu Yen cupped her hands to Wu Lingfei. No need to be so polite. Night Sorrow gave me his treasure. This way, this seat will have enough confidence. It won't be so easy for Skyscraping Saint to win, said Wu Lingfei. This is great. After being stunned for a moment, Lin Yuandao said excitedly. So, don't be so pessimistic. This seat has the ability to protect myself. If we fight to the death, then he won't have it easy. Even if this seat can't do it, he won't be able to escape from your encirclement, said Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei's words indicated 2 possible outcomes of the battle. The first was that neither side could do anything to the other, so they would stop when it was about time. The second was that they would fight to the death. Wu Lingfei had the ability to heavily injure her opponent. In that case, Saint Sky Raising wouldn't be able to withstand the joint attack of the Eastern Xian regions and Empyrean Terminus Tower's venerables. Good, Night Sorrow, good job. Tai Shu Yen said. Latest chapter D8, superhearing Wu Lingfei's words, everyone relaxed. If Wu Lingfei could resist Skyscraping Saint, then the overall situation would be settled. This was how a master could hold up an era. After listening to the higher-ups of Tianji Tower talk for a while, Night Sorrow left the big tent and made a small tent for himself. As soon as Night Sorrow finished setting up the tent, Wu Lingfei came. Aunt Fei, how is it? Asked Night Sorrow. Except for the fact that it doesn't recognize me as its master, Aunt Fei can use most of the functions of the space-time pagoda. It can be used for both offense and defense, said Wu Lingfei with a smile. Then I'm confident. Night Sorrow nodded. Make a pot of tea. Wu Lingfei smiled at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and made a pot of tea. Aunt Fei, since you're confident, should we ask the others to retreat to a certain distance so that the other side won't attack the venerables when he's at his peak? Asked Night Sorrow. There's no need for that. This is a battlefield for the venerables because the venerables and void inquiry stage experts can't withstand the attacks of the laws of the realm C. Since saints can control the power of laws to protect themselves, they won't be afraid of such attacks. So this time, the battlefield isn't here. Wu Lingfei said. In other words, the battlefield between Aunt Fei and that guy will be in the sky above the realm C? Asked Night Sorrow. Yes. Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow understood that the people here didn't need to retreat. The next few days were quiet. Then, someone came to report that the people of the Qingtian region had appeared in the East Smoke City. However, they didn't engage in battle. They directly flew towards Linhai City on a flying ship. He's wise. It's meaningless to attack the East Smoke City. If he can't win, the consequences will be our crazy revenge. It's better to use our battle to decide the outcome, said Wu Lingfei. Junior sister Wu, we'll have to trouble you this time. If you feel pressured, just call us. Junior sister Tai Shu and I will take action. The three of us can definitely kill him. Lin Yuandao looked at Wu Lingfei and said, Yes, senior sister Wu. Even if we have to surround and kill him, we won't lose face. It's very embarrassing for a veteran saint to challenge you. Tai Shuyan said, Alright, chaos is coming. Whether or not our Tianji Tower and Eastern Xin region can rise will depend on this battle. Wu Lingfei looked at the sky above the realm sea in the distance. As long as senior martial sister Wu doesn't lose, coupled with the fact that Qingtian region and Taiyue region were severely injured, no one will be able to shake the position of our celestial terminus tower in the future. The Eastern Xin region will also stand at the peak of the 9 regions, Tai Shuyan said. Yes. So this battle is very crucial. We can only win. Defeat is not an option. Lin Yuandao said. Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that this battle was very important. It would almost determine the future of the 9 regions. Time passed in an oppressive atmosphere. At noon, a flying ship appeared and stopped above the realm sea. Then, a white-haired old man appeared. Chapter 503. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I'll provide you with wonderful novels to read. I'm here. Wu Lingfei's body flashed and appeared above the realm sea, confronting the old man. Love go little, say, Webku. It seems that you've made great progress recently. You're a golden phoenix saint now, but you should know that there's a gap between a new saint and a veteran, Saint Futian said. So what? Wu Lingfei sneered. If you know what's good for you and hand over the Xintian Tower, I'll leave, Saint Futian said. Ha! I find it funny. I've killed many venerables of the Qingtian domain, and now you want to take the Xintian Tower and leave? Wu Lingfei said. Then I won't beat around the bush. I'm Jiyu Haitian, and I'm here as a member of the Jiyu family. I only want to take away the Xintian Tower. If you can't, you know the consequences, Jiyu Haitian said. Then I'm sorry. The Xintian Tower is just a decoration in your hands. You can't even control it, so how can you take it back? I have a space-time pagoda here. It's quite powerful. You can try it. Wu Lingfei waved her arm, and the translucent space-time pagoda turned into a 2-story pagoda that rotated behind her. The Xintian Tower. You can control the Xintian Tower? Jiyu Haitian's expression changed, and his voice trembled. He had tried countless times to make the Xintian Tower recognize him as its master, but he couldn't do it. Now that Wu Lingfei could control it freely, her combat strength had increased a lot. I don't know what Xintian Tower you're talking about. This is the space-time pagoda. Wu Lingfei sneered. Bitch. Then you can go die. The enraged Jiyu Haitian roared, then took out a black saber and slashed towards Wu Lingfei. Shameless boasting. Wu Lingfei snorted and made a circle with her left hand. The space-time pagoda spun and blocked the path of Jiyu Haitian's saber. Then she waved her right hand, and a translucent sword appeared and slashed at Jiyu Haitian. Jiyu and Hai Tian have the fire attribute, which is an ordinary attribute, while Junior Martial Sister Wu has the high-grade attribute. Junior Martial Sister Wu won't have a hard time. Lin Yuandao said. As Lin Yuandao spoke, the battle in the sky above the realm sea intensified. Jiyu Haitian was surrounded by a world of fire, while in front of him was a world of greenery. There was also a white light in the middle, which was the cold power of ice. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say, www.taichuexis.com. In the area where Jiyu and Wu Lingfei were fighting, fiery red blade lights swished in the air one after another, but they were all blocked by the space and time towers that surrounded Wu Lingfei. The space-time pagoda was surrounded by the power of space. When the fiery red saber arrived in front of the tower, It was as if it had entered an area of spatial disorder. It did not attack the tower at all. On Wu Lingfei's side, her life energy formed into chains and lashed towards Jiyu Haitian. However, Jiyu Haitian's speed was faster than hers. His body movement was as fast as fire, which made Wu Lingfei's attacks miss their target. Apart from the life chains, Wu Lingfei's sword lights and mystic jade hands also troubled Jiyu Haitian. Every time Wu Lingfei attacked, the sea of fire would surge and reduce the fire energy, which was a blow to Jiyu Haitian's energy. Jiyu Haitian could only blame himself for being unlucky. Wu Lingfei had two types of elemental powers. The life elemental power was a high-level elemental power, which could suppress ordinary fire elemental powers, while the ice elemental power could suppress fire elemental powers. The two kept attacking each other, but Wu Lingfei did not retreat an inch. Jiyu Haitian's attacks were more violent, but he could not take even half a step forward. Bring back the Xiantian Pagoda? Do you think you're qualified? Wu Lingfei countered after blocking Jiyu Haitian's violent attacks. Jiyu Haitian did not say anything, and his attacks became even more violent. The sea of fire elements surged above the realm sea and even surrounded Wu Lingfei's world of green and white. However, Wu Lingfei was like a reef in a raging sea, and her defense was very stable. Master K, is Aunt Fei in any danger? Night Sorrow was a bit worried. Her defense is very stable. Jiyu Haitian is the one who is consuming the most energy. If he continues to attack like this, it will be hard to say who will have the upper hand in the end, Lin Yuandao said. In half an hour, if Jiyu Haitian can't force Senior Marshal Sister Wu to retreat, he will have to retreat, Tai Shu Yen said. Wu Lingfei and Jiyu Haitian continued to attack each other, but because of her high-level element, the green energy around Wu Lingfei was very condensed and would not be scattered or consumed. After fighting for an hour, Jiyu Haitian waved his sleeve and retreated a bit. Golden Phoenix, so what if you can stop me by yourself? Can the people behind you stop me? If you don't hand over the Xiantian Pagoda, I can't kill you, but I can kill them. Eastern Xian region will become a dead zone, and all branches of Tianji Tower will be uprooted, Jiyu Haitian threatened when he saw that he couldn't do anything to Wu Lingfei. Only OS version, its FP $, hashtag are all hashtag pirated WI. Threaten? You can do it now. I believe you can kill some of them, but I won't even take a second look at them. I'll go straight to the headquarters of your Jiyu family. After that, I'll go to the branch. Wu Lingfei snorted coldly. You're not qualified to threaten us? Come and kill some of them. I'm not a saint, but I still have some means. Otherwise, the title of K-Master of Tianji Tower will be in vain. When the time comes, whether you can leave or not is still unknown, Lin Yuandao said. After speaking, Lin Yuandao and Tai Shu Yen both rose into the sky with weapons in their hands. If Jiyu Haitian really avoided Wu Lingfei and attacked the others, the Heaven's Terminus Tower and Eastern Xian Domain's Venerables would risk their lives to hurt Jiyu Haitian. By then, Jiyu Haitian would no longer be a match for Wu Lingfei. You really want to fight to the death? Jiyu Haitian narrowed his eyes and glanced at Wu Lingfei, then looked at Lin Yuandao and asked. It doesn't matter. Tianji Tower has been developing for many years. It doesn't matter if some of the branches don't exist. With the Dark Tower, it is enough to survive and rise. However, your Jiyu family is not far from destruction. I accept your declaration of war, Lin Yuandao said. Jiyu Haitian, withdraw your hand. Since you're a saint, don't participate in these battles. Otherwise, you can't bear the consequences, Wu Lingfei said coldly. Golden Phoenix, you're the same. If you dare to act recklessly, I will fight you to the end regardless of the consequences. Jiyu Haitian's body flashed and returned to the airship, which then left the sky above the realm sea. The airship was made of a special material, a kind of raw stone. This raw stone had no other use but to isolate attacks, so the people inside the airship would not be attacked by the laws of the realm sea. After Jiyu Haitian left, Wu Lingfei's body flashed and landed in front of Night Sorrow and the others. The gap is too big. If Night Sorrow didn't lend the pagoda to me, I wouldn't be able to hold on. At most, I would have to fight to the death and seriously injure him, Wu Lingfei said with a serious face because Jiyu Haitian was really strong. Chapter 504. Genius 1 second remember love go/little? It provides you with wonderful novels to read. What treasure? Wu Lingfei asked with some surprise. This is a secret that only the previous K-Lord knows. Only the K-Lord can control it, but I can't do it now, so only K-Lord Wu can do it, Lin Yuandao said. What secret? Is it suitable for us to know? Tai Shuyan asked. Since you took it out, it's not a secret. The polar moon wheel is a saint-level protective magic treasure. Lin Yuandao stretched out his hand and took out a 3-inch tall silver moon wheel. He then handed it to Wu Lingfei. Senior brother Lin, you can't do that. Since only the K-Lord can control it, you should control it. Wu Lingfei shook her head. Junior sister Wu, you were a venerable a few days ago, so the polar moon wheel was useless. When you came here again, you were already a saint and could control the polar moon wheel. But at that time, junior sister Wu already had the pagoda of time and space to protect you, so I didn't mention it. Refining it before the battle was too hasty, and the effect wouldn't be good, Lin Yuandao said. He explained why he didn't take out the polar moon wheel a few days ago. But it's still not suitable. This is the K-Lord's protective magic treasure. Wu Lingfei still shook her head and refused. K-Lord, junior sister Wu, when you didn't leave the Qingtian domain, it's hard to say who the K-Lord was. Junior sister Wu, don't be stubborn. You want to maintain the highest combat power. Do you plan to keep using Night Sorrow's pagoda of time and space? Besides, this polar moon wheel is also a Yin spirit treasure. It's not suitable for me. Lin Yuandao tossed the extreme moon disk to Wu Lingfei without hesitation. Wu Lingfei couldn't let the treasure fall to the ground, so she could only catch it in her hand. Junior sister can only thank senior brother. Wu Lingfei cupped her hands to Lin Yuandao. Congratulations, senior sister Wu. Tai Shu Yen cupped her hands to congratulate Wu Lingfei. Junior sister Tai Shu, hurry up and enter the Saint Domain. Although our Tianji Tower doesn't have a top-level treasure like the polar moon wheel, we still have others, Lin Yuandao said with a smile. Many thanks, senior apprentice brother Lin. Tai Shu Yen cupped his hands towards Lin Yuandao. All these years, you didn't return to the headquarters, and the headquarters didn't provide you with any help. I feel very guilty. There are some regulations in Tianji Tower that make people feel helpless. Lin Yuandao's words were full of apology. The others were also silent. Wu Lingfei and Tai Shu Yan's situation was unprecedented in Tianji Tower. In order to avoid arousing suspicion, they did not return to the headquarters. Because of the regulations, the headquarters did not give them any financial support. Then, Wu Lingfei returned the space-time treasure pagoda to Night Sorrow. Without waiting for Night Sorrow and Shao Kong to communicate, Shao Kong directly entered Night Sorrow's Dantian. This is the true owner of the numinous treasure. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. She could use the space-time pagoda for attack and defense. She couldn't use its auxiliary functions because she couldn't integrate it into her body. Junior sister Wu, this polar moon wheel is both offensive and defensive. Moreover, it's mainly used for killing. After refining it, you definitely won't be disappointed, Lin Yuandao said. Then let's talk about the next arrangements. Latrin Swan also breathed a sigh of relief. When Lin Yuandao entrusted Night Sorrow and Linglong to him, he was really worried. At present, we will focus on developing the Eastern Xian region base. Well, Junior Sister Wu, you should stabilize your cultivation and refine the polar moon wheel for the time being. In addition, Junior Apprentice Sister Tai Shu, your North Sea region is an iron plate. Shift some of your energy to this side. Elderly, you will oversee this side. Love go, little, say, network, Chulin Yuandao said. Tai Shu Yen and Elderly both nodded. Junior Sister Wu, send some people from the Eastern Xian region's City Lord's mansion. Tianji Tower's chief enforcer Li will lead some people to cooperate and take control of the important cities in the Taiyue region. If we don't take action, the Taiyue region will be taken over by the Qingtian region, Lin Yuandao said. Alright, Lei Hua, Kuinnan, you two will be fully responsible for this matter. If there's anything you can't solve, you know where to find this seat. In addition, our Eastern Xian region can't swallow such a big piece of meat. Junior Apprentice Sister Tai Shu, Just do as you see fit, Wu Lingfei said to Tai Shu Yen after speaking to Lei Hua and Kuan Nan. Tianji Tower's motto was not to fight for hegemony or territory. Therefore, the Taiyue region was a burden to Tianji Tower. However, it was of great significance to other regions. Only with territory would there be people, and only with people could one's power grow. At present, the Eastern Xian region's top cultivators weren't bad, but there were very few middle-level cultivators. It was somewhat unrealistic to want to swallow the Taiyue region. Therefore, Wu Lingfei and Tai Shu Yen communicated with one another. Alright, don't worry, Senior Apprentice Sister Wu. Junior Apprentice Sister will control this well. Tai Shu Yen nodded and made a promise. In other words, the North Sea region would be controlled to a certain extent. Then, the camp here was evacuated. There was no need to keep it. The Realm Sea was a defensive line, but the cities in the Taiyue region near the Eastern Xian region were all under the control of the Eastern Xian region. It was impossible for the Qingtian region to push into the Realm Sea. As for the Taiyue region's counterattack, they didn't have the ability to do so. In the previous battle, Li Fengyu had committed suicide. The Taiyue region had lost half of its venerables, and those who hadn't died in battle had all gone into seclusion. How would they dare to fight against the Eastern Xian region, which was in the limelight? That would be no different from courting death. Look at Section Q of the J section chapter on specified currency. However, the Taiyue region was still very stable. Before the venerables went into seclusion, they would also instruct level 5 protectors and enforcers to maintain order. After all, no matter who was in charge of the Taiyue region, it was still their hometown. Knight Sorrow returned to the mansion. He originally thought that Ling Long would leave with the higher-ups of Tianji Tower, but he didn't expect her to follow him. Knight Sorrow didn't say anything about this situation. The mansion didn't lack a guest room for her. The higher-ups of Tianji Tower didn't leave the Eastern Xian region either. They were currently in troubled times, and they had to study the construction of the Tianji Tower base. After settling down, Knight Sorrow began to cultivate diligently. With the space-time pagoda, Knight Sorrow's cultivation could save a lot of resources and go much smoother. There was a difference between external resources and the energy of heaven and earth that the space-time pagoda absorbed. Elixirs, spirit stones, and crystals were all energy mediums, but the space-time pagoda absorbed them naturally, making cultivation much smoother. In addition, Knight Sorrow felt that it wouldn't be long before his deity Ocean's soul power would liquefy. As for his cultivation realm, Knight Sorrow had already begun to try to improve it. He first cultivated the unity of man and spear. After he succeeded, it would be much easier to advance to the unity of man and heaven. As for the matters of Tianji Tower and the City Lord's mansion, Knight Sorrow didn't worry about them, nor did he ask about them. He just cultivated in peace. When he had nothing to do, Knight Sorrow would communicate with the members of Tianji Tower's team and the brothers of the Bloodstrike Guard. However, Ling Long didn't show up much. She was probably cultivating as well. The members of Tianji Tower's team and the Bloodstrike Guard's team were improving very quickly. There were only 3 members of the Bloodstrike Guard who hadn't reached the 5th stage, and the other was the Qin Zhen. Worried that they would feel pressured, Knight Sorrow even found a few of them to chat. However, Knight Sorrow was overthinking things. The 4 of them had excellent mental states and were confident in themselves. They just felt that they hadn't polished their true qi enough, so they needed to continue to stabilize it. Knight Sorrow thought about it and understood. The Bloodstrike Guard's members were selected elites. Their aptitudes were certain, and their mental states were also strengthened. A little setback was nothing to them. Chapter 505. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. His True Qi, Myriad Dao Treasure Tome, Soul Power, and Innate Bloodline Power could not break through within a short period of time. Therefore, Knight Sorrow decided to work hard on his cultivation base to prepare for his advancement to the Venerable Realm. Soul Power was the foundation of mastering the oneness of heaven and man. It was also the key to entering the Venerable Realm. Knight Sorrow could now achieve the state of being one with his spear. Both the attack power and accuracy of his spear technique were improving. If it was in the past, Night Sorrow would probably return to the Medicine Valley to cultivate. After all, Pill Cauldron Cliff was a holy place for cultivation. However, Night Sorrow did not need to do so now. The 8-Dragon Cauldron had already been upgraded. It was no longer a spiritual weapon but a sacred weapon. However, its grade was not as high as the Time Pagoda. The speed at which it absorbed the energy of heaven and earth was also faster than the pagoda. In the past, Night Sorrow could cultivate quickly in Pill Cauldron Cliff because his grade was low and the amount of energy he needed was less. As for Night Sorrow, he was now at the 5th level of the Void Inquiry stage. The amount of energy he needed to cultivate at this level was countless times higher than before. While Night Sorrow was cultivating steadily, the world outside was changing rapidly. First of all, there was the change in Taiyu Domain. Taiyu Domain had already been jointly ruled by the Eastern Profound Region and the Northern Sea Region. The two regions used a conciliatory policy and did not attack the local cultivators. Everyone knew that everyone had the determination and perseverance in their hearts. In order to avoid being ostracized, the Eastern Profound Region and the Northern Sea Region issued an announcement. After announcing the cause of the incident, it also stated that this was the second time that Taiyu Domain had launched a domain war against the Eastern Profound Region. After the announcement was made, no one came out to refute it. This meant that it was true that Taiyu Domain had attacked the Eastern Profound Region twice. This fact caused a storm among the cultivators of Taiyu Domain. It also subconsciously changed their attitude towards the Eastern Profound Region and the Northern Sea Region. Cultivators were very straightforward. Taiyu Domain had followed Qingtian Region to attack the Eastern Profound Region. It was normal for the latter to retaliate as they were not invaders at all. Since Taiyu Domain attacked them, they had to bear the consequences. This was something that everyone understood. After that, the Eastern Xian Region and the Northern Sea Domain announced their policies towards the Taiyue Domain. They would not change the current power structure of the sects and clans in the Taiyue Domain, nor would they take away the resources of the Taiyue Domain. The resources of the Taiyue Domain would be used to nurture the cultivators of the Taiyue Domain. The only requirement was that the Taiyue Domain had to stand on the same side as the Eastern Profound Region and the Northern Sea Domain. At the same time, the Eastern Profound Region and the Northern Sea Domain would also protect the stability of the Taiyue Domain. They would not allow forces from other domains to invade the Taiyue Domain. As soon as such a policy was announced, all the major sects and clans in the Taiyue Domain expressed their allegiance. The latest 2 chapters, Section K / after all, without a leader, Taiyue Domain would definitely be attacked. Even if the Eastern Xian Region and the Northern Sea Domain didn't come, other domains would come. The Eastern Xian Region and the Northern Sea Domain's combined strength had greatly increased. Taiyue Domain didn't have the ability to resist. Moreover, the Eastern Xian Region and the Northern Sea Domain's attitude was still very friendly. Love go little say. Other than that, the Tianjin Tower also released some announcements that were beneficial to the development of the Taiyue Domain. If the Taiyue Domain could cooperate with the Eastern Xian Region and the Northern Sea Domain and prevent any disputes, the rewards of the missions issued by the Tianjin Tower in the Taiyue Domain would be increased by 30% in the next few years. The 3 major forces worked together to completely subdue the various forces in the Taiyue Domain. Night Sorrow didn't know about any of this. All he did was cultivate diligently. At night, he cultivated his foundation. During the day, he spent most of his time cultivating his spear techniques. Night Sorrow, you don't have to work so hard, Sikong Chuyu said as she walked over. Beside her was Yang Lei, who had just sparred with Yi Shiwen. Yang Lei wasn't a match for Sikong Chuyu at the moment. Sikong Chuyu's sky blue water attribute power had strengthened her body more and more. She wasn't far from officially forming the sky blue constitution. It's not hard at all. Night Sorrow smiled at the 2 women. Night Sorrow had not seen Wu Lingfei during this period of time. He planned to give the ice silkworm soft garment to Yang Lei. However, he needed Wu Lingfei's help to make it recognize him as its master. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu had reached the void inquiry stage for quite some time. However, they still couldn't make the ice silkworm soft garment recognize him as its master. While the three of them were chatting, Ho Jian and the others came over. Leader, we went out for a walk just now and discovered a lot of news. Nan Liu said excitedly. Why are you running around for no reason? Why aren't you working hard on your cultivation? Night Sorrow glanced at Nan Liu and said, I've been working hard on this. Today, I'm going out to get some fresh air. Nan Liu said in a low voice. Now, be it the Tianji Tower team or the blood-robed guards, all of them had absolute faith in Night Sorrow. None of them had any objections. It's only right for me to get some fresh air. What news did you guys hear? Night Sorrow took the teapot and asked after pouring tea for everyone. Ho Jian and the others told him about the current situation outside. Not bad. This strategy is very good. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to control the situation if there's a backlash. Night Sorrow nodded and said, None of us are brainless people, all right? Nan Liu muttered. Qing Jia and Qing Zhen's cultivation bases are slightly lower. You guys guide them well. Also, what about today? I'll also tell you guys a little trick. Remember to keep it a secret. Night Sorrow ignored Nan Liu's muttering and told them about how carving and pill refinement could help them cultivate their soul power. Thank you, leader. Ho Jian and the others bowed because this secret technique was very important. You guys can try to cultivate it. It's not like you can't teach it to others. If the person beside you has a good temperament, then there won't be a problem, Night Sorrow said. Then, Night Sorrow went to the blood-robed guards' cultivation area and told them about this matter, allowing the rank 5 members to start cultivating. After instructing Night Sorrow, he returned to the main pavilion and chatted with Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei. I haven't told you yet. A few days ago, Grand Elder Hua and the Great Elder came and brought some disciples of the Medicine Valley to Taiyue Domain. The City Lord's mansion gave us a few cities in Taiyue Domain, Yang Lei said. That's a good thing. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Also, the Great Elder mentioned that you should return to the Medicine Valley again, Yang Lei said. If there's nothing else, let's go back and take a walk. I miss 6th Senior Sister and the others, Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Yang Lei said excitedly. Night Sorrow and the others could leave whenever they wanted. It was very convenient with the transportation array. After instructing them, Night Sorrow led the 2 girls to the transportation array and set off for the Medicine Valley. At the same time, in Bailing City, north of the Qingtian region, a meeting was taking place in the Sikong family's mansion, which was even more luxurious than the City Lord's mansion. An old man with white hair and beard sat in the main seat. He looked dignified without being angry. Now tell me, who suggested the marriage between Chuyu and Jiyu's family? The old man asked. The dozens of people in the hall didn't say anything. Can't you hear me? The old man roared and smashed the chair beside him. The hall was terrifyingly quiet. No one dared to speak. The family lord has been in seclusion and doesn't care about the family's affairs. Before I went into seclusion, I said that Tianding will be in charge of the Sikong family for the time being. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to cause trouble? Do you think I won't know if you don't tell me? The old man waved his sleeve and slapped several people in the hall. Granduncle, please calm down. A middle-aged man sitting on the left stood up. Chapter 506. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Tianding, don't tell me you have nothing to do with this? What did I tell you? It's because you have the ability to control the family that I let you manage the family's affairs. Don't tell me that you don't have the ability to control the situation. Can't your feather guards take care of them? The white-haired old man glared at Sikong Tianding. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao, say, www.taichuxis.com. But that's not the best solution. If we rely on force to sort out the family, it will be accompanied by a storm of blood. The Sikong family's strength will be damaged, and the losses will outweigh the gains. Tianding can wait until Granduncle comes out of seclusion, said Sikong Tianding. The old man thought for a moment and nodded. What you did was right. You were able to restrain your inner emotions and put the interests of the family first. The patriarch and I did not misjudge you. Tianding will do his best. Sikong Tianding cupped his hands and returned to his seat. Are you blind? He didn't know what Jiyu family was like, but what happened to Taiyue territory? From now on, Tianjing and Tianhua are not allowed to take even half a step into the assembly hall and are not allowed to participate in any of the family's affairs. You two elders, go and hand in your duties. The family will arrange for you to retire. The old man instructed again and directly abolished the 4 people who had tried to seize power. Then, someone chased the 4 of them out of the hall. The old man's name was Sikong Lun. He wasn't the family head, but he was the soul of the Sikong family. He could appoint and dismiss the family head. Tianyu, make a trip to the eastern Xian region. When you see Chu, bring her back. Tell her that the clan will no longer force her, Sikong Luyan said to a female elder of the Sikong clan. Latest 3+ chapter, Granduncle, it's hard to say if we can call Chuyu back. According to the news that we received, she has privately pledged to marry someone else. Sikong Tianyu hesitated for a moment before saying, I can choose not to force her, and no one can force her. However, her husband must pass my eyes, Sikong Luyun said. Very well, the heavenly mandate will do it now. Sikong Tianyu said. She knew Sikong Chuyu. Her niece was a treasure in Sikong Liuyun's eyes. Sikong Luyun stood up and said, the world is going to change. The birth of a saint is a big deal. All right, I'm going to go into seclusion. Tianding, you take care of the family's affairs. Sikong Tianding nodded. It wasn't his first time managing a clan. It was just that this time, someone was trying to seize power, and he didn't want to start a fight. Night Sorrow and the other 2 returned to Danding City. Standing in front of the Golden Flame Palace, Night Sorrow pondered whether or not he should greet Yu Yangyu. He had not seen Yu Yangyu for a long time. While Night Sorrow was thinking, the door to the Golden Flame Palace opened and Yu Yangyu walked out. Disciples greet Master. Night Sorrow and the other 2 bowed to Yu Yangyu. Good, very good. Get up quickly. Yu Yangyu reached out and helped Night Sorrow up. Your cultivation has far surpassed the other second-generation disciples. Even among the elders, there are only a few who have higher cultivation than you. Very good. Yu Yangyu said as he sized up Night Sorrow. Master, can you leave? Let's find a place and I'll treat you to a drink. Love go little, say, Chu Night Sorrow said. Of course. I also wanted to come out for some fresh air and calm myself down before continuing my seclusion. How's the situation now? Yu Yangyu asked. He had been in seclusion all this time, so he didn't know the current situation. Yang Lei then told Yu Yangyu about the current situation in the 9 zones. The Medicine Valley has also fought our way out. This is a good situation. Yu Yangyu said excitedly. After entering the tavern, Night Sorrow took out 2 jars of wine and poured them. The Eastern Xian domain is in a good situation. The Medicine Valley is also in a good situation. This is very good. I've missed a lot in order to improve my strength, Yu Yangyu said. Master, 13th junior brother has a bright future. The Eastern Xian Domain's City Lord Mansion and Tianji Tower both value 13th junior brother very much. His personal bodyguards are all high-level venerables. They didn't follow us this time, Yang Lei said. It's safe now. The people of the Qingtian Domain can't enter the Eastern Xian Domain. As long as I'm in the Eastern Xian Domain, I'm safe. I don't need personal bodyguards, so Supervisor Lan didn't follow us, Night Sorrow said. After drinking, they returned to Pill Cauldron Mountain. The 4 of them saw a lot of people at the mountain gate, but they didn't know anyone. After the Medicine Valley took over the Golden Flame Sect's territory, they started recruiting disciples and had more disciples. Seeing Yu Yangyu's Dao pattern robe, all the disciples bowed to greet him. They're all people I don't know, Yang Lei said. You're no longer people of the same era. What level are you at? 5th stage. Isn't 9th brother still an elder? How can he get along with the disciples below him? Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Master, you've been in seclusion, so you don't know. 13th junior brother was forcefully promoted to the position of Deputy Valley Master by the Supreme Elder, the Great Elder, the Elder Council and the Peak Masters, but he didn't take it seriously, Yang Lei said with a smile as she pulled Night Sorrow's arm. Ha! Master's disciples are all promising. Not bad, not bad, Yu Yangyu said happily. The group arrived at Pill Cauldron Hall. Yu Yangyu asked Gong Xian and Chu Ling Xiao about the Medicine Valley situation, then returned to Taishan Peak. When Yu Yangyu returned with Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu, the people of Taishan Peak gathered together to drink and chat. Master, a few years ago, when you asked me to bring 13th junior brother back to Bamboo Forest Peak, he was still a child. Now that I think about it, it feels unreal, Gong Xian said with a sigh as he gestured Night Sorrow's height with his hand. This is the change of times. It's good that you're all independent now. If you have time, come to Southern Sky City and visit Guan Ye's family. Yu Yangyu shook his head as he thought of his 12th disciple, Guan Yi. Hearing Yu Yangyu's words, the others nodded. Guan Ye's matter was a pain for Yu Yangyu and his disciples. Night Sorrow didn't feel as much because he hadn't seen Guan Yi. Master, we'll go there later, Yang Lei said. All right, Night Sorrow, you should also go back to your hometown, Yu Yangyu said. 13, your hometown is currently under construction. The focus of the construction is Gunan Town and Jiyuan Town. Jiyuan City is to be built. Now, Jiyuan Town is just a scenic town in the periphery, Gong Xian said. Thank you, senior brother, Night Sorrow said. That's what I should do. As long as a disciple makes an outstanding contribution to Medicine Valley, their hometown will definitely take care of them. 13th junior brother, you don't have to think too much, Yu Yangyu said. I understand, Night Sorrow nodded. All right, you guys go later, Yu Yangyu nodded to Night Sorrow and the others. After drinking and greeting everyone, Night Sorrow and the others released their mounts and flew towards Southern Sky City. Their mounts were extremely fast now. In half a day, they arrived at Southern Sky City's Qingnan Town, which was also Guan Ye's hometown. Chapter 507. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? Here's a wonderful novel for you to read. Night Sorrow and the other two looked at each other and walked toward the canyon where Guan Ye's grave was. Before they even entered the canyon, Night Sorrow and the other two sensed something strange. What was this sinister aura? It was thick with death energy. Something's not right. You two be careful, Night Sorrow said. I want to see what's going on. If anyone dares to mess around in 12th's grave, I'll kill them all. Yang Lei was a little angry. Among Yang Lei's 4 junior brothers, the 10th, Tao Yuan, was the oldest. Mo Chen, Guan Yi, and Yi Shang were the youngest. Apart from her current relationship with Yi Shang, the other two were her blood brothers. If anyone dared to blaspheme Guan Yi, then the matter would be very serious. Don't be rash. I feel that something's wrong. I'm familiar with this death energy. Night Sorrow frowned. As they walked, Night Sorrow pondered. He didn't understand why this was happening, but he believed that his intuition was right. When they reached the end of the canyon, Night Sorrow and the other two discovered that the death energy was coming from Guan Ye's grave. What's going on? Yang Lei frowned. The body in the grave hasn't rotted. There's something wrong with this grave. Let me think. Night Sorrow closed his eyes and pondered. After organizing his thoughts, Night Sorrow opened his eyes. They were full of shock. The aura of the Dark Spirit Saint. It's the aura of the Dark Spirit Saint. Night Sorrow was shocked. What do you mean? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow, confused. The death energy here is the same as the aura of the Dark Spirit Saint I met in the Death Dimension, Night Sorrow said. Didn't you say that he reincarnated? What's going on? Yang Lei was a little anxious. After all, it was her junior brother, Guan Yi, who was in the tomb. I just checked and found that there is a hidden branch of an underground river under the tomb. Because of the cold air rushing up, 12th brother's body did not decompose. Now that there is death energy flowing in his body, it means that there will be a mutation, Night Sorrow said. There will definitely be changes. What does that mean? Sikong Chiyu asked. There are 2 possibilities. One is a zombie without intelligence, and the other is a spirit corpse with intelligence. but it's hard to say who it is. Maybe it's 12th brother, or maybe it's the dark spirit saint. Night Sorrow analyzed. Then what should we do? Yang Lei's mind was a little unstable. I don't know either. If it wasn't for the dark spirit saint, I would have chosen to stop the situation now. However, the dark spirit saint is a magnanimous person. He wouldn't do something so senseless, said Yishang. I didn't expect to see you here. Very good. This is fate. A voice appeared out of nowhere. Senior. Night Sorrow was surprised. He didn't know what was going on. You came just in time. My consciousness is still here, so I can explain it to you. It's like this. This corpse has the death attribute, but it was not activated when he was alive. Also, his soul is very pure and hasn't completely dissipated. My energy can nourish his soul and revive him. The dark spirit saint's voice sounded again. Junior understands, but who is this resurrected? Yi Shan asked the question in his heart. Don't worry. It's still him, but maybe he will retain a part of my memory. That will depend on luck. I originally planned to find a suitable unborn body to reincarnate, but when I came here and saw this corpse, I changed my mind. The dark spirit saint's voice sounded again. Love go little, say, W. Chu, Senior, didn't you lose the chance to reincarnate? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. So what? He can grow up smoothly. Isn't he living in this world for me? When we parted, I said that even if I reincarnate, I will still be me. Remember your promise and pass on my inheritance to him, the dark spirit saint instructed. Senior, you can't do it? Night Sorrow asked. I can't do it. In 3 days, my soul will truly disperse, and it will take some time for him to recover. Help me watch over him. All right, that's all I have to say. Then, the dark spirit saint's voice disappeared. Then, Night Sorrow left the canyon with the 2 girls. Yishang took out a jar of wine, poured out a bowl, and drank it in 1 gulp. 13. Does the dark spirit saint mean that 12th junior brother can be revived? Yang Lei was a little emotional. Night Sorrow nodded. At this moment, Yang Lei and Night Sorrow's feelings were completely different. Yang Lei cared about Guan Ye's revival because he was her junior brother. Night Sorrow and Guan Yi didn't have any feelings, but Night Sorrow knew that the dark spirit saint was truly going to disappear. Everyone's feelings are different. Calm down. Sikong Chuyu was a bystander and knew that Yang Lei and Night Sorrow's feelings were different. Yang Lei looked at Yishang and instantly understood that there was conflict between the 2 of them. Night Sorrow drank a jar of wine and meditated at the entrance of the canyon. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu looked around and released their flying mounts to be on guard. Chuyu, is 9th senior sister being selfish? Yang Lei looked at Sikong Chuyu and asked. Carrot update XA new best. Quick and up S. No, but Night Sorrow and Senior Guan have never met before, so their feelings for each other are blank. The Dark Soul Saint is a senior he respects, so it's a shock to him, Sikong Chuyu said. That's true. I didn't consider that. 12th junior brother is very important to Master, to us, Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow will understand. Let nature take its course, Sikong Chuyu said. The next 2 days were quiet. On the 3rd day, Night Sorrow brought a jar of wine to the canyon and placed it in front of Guan Ye's grave. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu followed behind Night Sorrow. They knew that Night Sorrow was saying goodbye to the Dark Soul Saint. I am gratified to know you. Even if I die, I will have no regrets. He will live in my place in this world. The Dark Soul Saint's voice sounded again. At the same time, his figure appeared above Guan Ye's grave. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. He just nodded. Also, don't treat him as an evil walking corpse or zombie. I've already healed his body. Once his soul completely recovers, he'll be a living human. This may take some time, so I'll be leaving now. Don't worry about it. Some things are just the will of the heavens. The Dark Soul Saint's words carried a hint of relief that Night Sorrow could feel. Night Sorrow will complete Senior's task. Senior, have a safe journey. Night Sorrow bowed. Chapter 508. Genius 1 second remember love go/little? I'll provide you with interesting novels to read. Guan Ye's tomb trembled for a moment before calming down again. At the same time, all the death energy in the canyon gathered into Guan Ye's tomb. 13. Don't be sad. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow. Ninth senior sister, it's nothing. Perhaps this is the final destination of the dark spirit saint. The one lying inside is my 12th senior brother. That's what I care about, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, it's good that you can think this way. Actually, from another perspective, this is also a perfect outcome, Sikong Chuyu said. I understand. It seems that we can't leave this place for now. We'll go to Bamboo Garden Town later, Night Sorrow said. The energy in senior brother Guan's body in the tomb is increasing again, Sikong Chuyu said with some surprise. Night Sorrow then noticed the same thing. The energy in the corpse was increasing rapidly. It seems that after 12th senior brother recovers, he will make up for all the lost cultivation. It might be a blessing in disguise, Night Sorrow said. After that, Night Sorrow and the other two set up camp there and observed the changes in the tomb every day. The energy in the corpse in the tomb was increasing every day. After 5 days, it reached the 6th level of the spirit severing stage and was already operating on its own. In addition, Night Sorrow also noticed that the blood in Guan Ye's body was starting to circulate and there was a heartbeat. 6th level of the spirit severing stage. It won't continue to increase, but it's very stable. His blood and qi are starting to circulate. It seems that he'll recover in a few days, Sikong Chuyu said. 13. Do you think he'll recognize me after he recovers? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow nervously. Whether it's a human or a monster, the most important thing is the soul. The Dark Spirit Saint said that 12th senior brother's soul hasn't dissipated. Even if his memories are incomplete, it won't be a problem, Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei nodded. She knew what Night Sorrow said was true, but she was still a little nervous. 2 more days passed. On the morning of the 3rd day, when the sun had just risen, Guan Ye's grave began to shake. Then, with a loud explosion, Guan Ye's grave exploded, and a corpse in a white silk robe stood up. 9th senior sister, what's wrong with me? I remember that I was surrounded and killed by the people of the 4 Seas sect, the corpse said after shaking its body. 12. Do you still remember 9th senior sister? Yang Lei's voice trembled. 9th senior sister, what's wrong? Why are you acting so strange? How can I not recognize 9th senior sister? What's wrong with me? The white-robed corpse, Guan Yi, looked at Yang Lei in a daze and then looked at himself. It's all right. Go home with 9th senior sister. Yang Lei stepped forward and patted the mud off Guan Ye's body, her eyes full of tears. 9th senior sister, what's wrong? Don't cry. Guan Yi said, his words not very fluent. 9th senior sister isn't crying. She's happy. Yang Lei's eyes were filled with tears, but her face was full of smiles. These two are? Guan Yi looked at Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu and asked. Night Sorrow greets 12th senior brother. Night Sorrow saluted Guan Yi. Sikong Chuyu also bowed slightly to Guan Yi. 12, let me introduce you. This is Master's last disciple, 13th junior brother Night Sorrow. This is 13th junior brother's fiancé. 9th senior sister is also 13th junior brother's fiancé. Yang Lei said. 13th junior brother. 9th senior sister is also fiancé. My head hurts. Guan Yi said, clutching his head with both hands. Don't worry, don't think too much. Let's rest first and then go home. Yang Lei said. She was worried that if they went back to Guan Ye's house now, it would agitate him even more. After sitting down, Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and poured it for the 4 of them. My cultivation? 6th level of the spirit severing stage. How come I'm at the 6th level of the spirit severing stage? I can't see your cultivation at the 6th level? Guan Yi took a sip of wine and checked himself. He was stunned. 12, don't get too excited. Let 9th senior sister tell you bit by bit, okay? Yang Lei knew that there were many things that needed to be told to Guan Yi slowly. The story took more than 4 hours. Yang Lei told him everything that had happened in the past 10 years. 10 years, I actually died for 10 years. Thank you, senior sister and 13th junior brother, for avenging me. 11th senior brother worked hard for me for 10 years. Guan Ye's eyes were filled with tears. Although men didn't cry easily, it was only because they weren't heartbroken. 12. Take your time to digest the things that happened in the past few years. You will get used to it very soon. Yang Lei said. They did not leave. Instead, they set up camp here mainly to stabilize Guan Ye's emotions. After all, his body had just recovered and his soul had just awakened. Be it his body or soul, they all needed time to calm down. After a night, Guan Yi woke up early. He had already gotten used to it. How do you feel? Yang Lei asked. Very good. Everything is good. 9th senior sister, you don't have to worry. What's your cultivation base now? Guan Yi asked with a smile. 4th level of the Void Inquiry stage. I advanced in the past 3 years mainly because 13 took back the Sacred Cauldron scripture. If you have nothing else to do, let's go home. Then, we'll go to 13's hometown. After that, we'll return to the sect. Yang Lei said. After that, they went to Qingnan town and met Guan Ye's parents. Guan Ye's parents were frightened when they saw him. After Yang Lei explained to them, they finally understood that their son had really come back to life. Then they hugged Guan Yi and cried. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. After resting in Guan Ye's house for 2 days, they left Qingnan town and headed to Zhuyuan town. Along the way, Yang Lei told Guan Yi about the things that happened in the past 10 years, mainly about the situation in the past 3 years. 13th junior brother is the Vice Valley Lord and his cultivation base is also at the 5th level of the Void Inquiry stage. After hearing about Night Sorrow's situation, Guan Yi was extremely shocked. 12th senior brother, let's not talk about this. You are the regret in the hearts of Master, senior brother and senior sister. Now that 12th senior brother is back, this regret will no longer exist. After we return, Master will definitely be very happy. Night Sorrow said with a smile. I'm so happy. Guan Yi shouted. In less than an hour, they arrived at Zhuyuan town. The outer area of Zhuyuan town had been completely changed. It was already being built according to the standards of a big city and it was connected to Gunan town. A few years later, there will be unexpected changes in Zhuyuan town. This place will become one of the main cities of our Medicine Valley. Yang Lei said, it's indeed not bad. A big city is about to rise. A big city that connects Gunan town and Zhuyuan town. Its scale is already a first-rate city in the Medicine Valley. Sikong Chiyu said, this is 13th brother's hometown. Not bad. It's very close to my home. Guan Yi said, yes. That's why it's said that this place is blessed by outstanding people. Yang Lei said. After that, the 4 of them rode on the flying demonic beasts and directly landed in front of Gunan's father's house. At this moment, Gunan's father was smoking in the courtyard. His face was flushed red. There was also a young man who was brewing tea. Chapter 509. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Chen Chen greets sworn brother. The delicate-looking young man bowed to Night Sorrow. You're also at the peak of Elemental Gathering realm. Not bad. Thank you for taking care of Dad while I was away. Night Sorrow helped Chen Chen up. Dad, what's wrong with you? You have cultivation? When he looked at Dadgu again, Night Sorrow was very shocked because Dadgu was currently at the late stage of Elemental Gathering realm. It's all because of the treasure you brought back last time. After consuming it, the crack in my danton was repaired and my cultivation came back naturally, Dadgu said with a smile. Good. That's great. We'll definitely celebrate today, Night Sorrow said excitedly. Dadgu's lifespan was a concern for Night Sorrow. He was afraid that Dadgu's lifespan would run out and he would not be able to fulfill his filial duties. Now that this problem did not exist, how could he not be happy? It's really great. Yang Lei was also very happy. She and Sikong Chu both knew what this meant to Night Sorrow. We have to prepare resources. I've given away the second and third rank resources, so we have to prepare some more. Dad, Chin, don't worry about cultivating. As long as you can cultivate, you don't have to worry about the resources, Night Sorrow said excitedly. I still have some elemental gathering pills. We'll go to the sect later to get some, Yang Lei said. I'll refine them myself. Don't trouble the sect, Night Sorrow said after hesitating for a moment. You blockhead. How many benefits have you gotten for the sect? Do you think the sect lacks this little thing? Yang Lei knocked on Night Sorrow's shoulder and said, All right, we'll get someone to send them over when we go back. Night Sorrow nodded and said. Then they drank. Chen was actually older than Night Sorrow, but he became Dad Gu's adopted son later, so he could only call Night Sorrow his sworn brother. When they were resting at night, Night Sorrow brought Guan Yi out of the town. 13th junior brother, do you have something to tell me? Don't worry, as long as 12th senior brother can do it, it won't be a problem. Guan Yi, who still looked like he was in his 20s, looked very young, like a young man in his 20s. 12th senior brother, you're thinking too much. About the revival, 12th senior brother should already know about it. I met the Dark Spirit Saint some time ago and promised to find a successor for his legacy, and 12th senior brother is the most suitable candidate, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow then took out all the resources left behind by the Dark Soul Saint. Love go little, say the 13th junior brother, these are your opportunities, not mine. That senior asked you to help him find an inheritor, not for you to hand over your opportunities. If I take them, then what will happen? Even I despise myself. Guan Yi looked at Night Sorrow and shook his head. Since that senior chose you, then what he left behind is naturally yours, Night Sorrow said. I'll take these death crystals. I'll take these 2 books as well. You can keep the rest. Otherwise, I won't take them all, Guan Yi said resolutely. Equals forever free of fees equals look. Hashtag little. Senior brother, why do you have to do this? Night Sorrow said. This is my principle. 13, I know you're doing this for my own good, but this is different. I don't want to look down on my own actions. Listen to senior brother, give the death crystals and the books to senior brother. Guan Yi patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said, All right, I'll keep a copy of the books. If I have the chance, I'll go to that senior's hometown. If his sect is still around, I'll leave it for his descendants. Night Sorrow began to organize the Dark Soul Saint's belongings. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao, say, www.taichuxis. Come in the end, Guan Yi took the death crystals and some death pills. As for the rest, he didn't take them. He felt a little embarrassed because they all belonged to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow wanted to give Guan Yi a storage ring, but Guan Yi didn't want it because Yang Lei had already given him one. 13th junior brother, senior brother is very sorry. As your senior brother, I didn't help you with anything, Guan Yi said apologetically. 12th senior brother, don't say that. Senior brother is no different from blood brothers. Senior brother's return is the happiest thing. When 12th senior brother returns, Master and senior brother will definitely be shocked, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Coming back from the dead, even senior brother feels that it's very strange. When my life came to an end, I felt very regretful. I felt that my life had ended just as it was getting exciting. This time, there won't be any more regrets. Guan Yi was a little emotional. It was inevitable for a dead person to come back to life again. Senior brother, it's a chaotic world now. Be careful. Night Sorrow said. Of course. When I return to the sect this time, I won't go out until I reach rank 5. If I get killed right after I revive, I won't even have a place to cry, Guan Yi said with a smile. Guan Yi's personality was very cheerful and he was handsome. He used to be the youngest junior brother at the Taishan Peak, so all the disciples at the Taishan Peak liked him very much. The two chatted for a while before returning to Papa Gu's residence. Papa Gu, Chin, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chiu were drinking tea. You're back? Yang Lei greeted with a smile. Yes, 13th junior brother. He gave me some resources, Guan Yi said with a smile. 12th junior brother, you're the same as 10 years ago. You haven't changed at all. You're still so young, Yang Lei said with a smile. Who wants to try? I've been lying in the grave for more than 10 years. Do you think it's easy for me? Guan Yi said with a smile. That's true. It's been hard on you, Yang Lei said with a sigh. Ninth senior sister, I admire 13 very much. Back then, so many senior brothers in the sect were thinking about you. But in the end, you were succeeded by 13th junior brother who joined the sect for less than 4 years, Guan Yi said with a smile. 13th's ability is great. You'll know soon enough, Yang Lei said with a smile. Dad, Chin, why don't you come with me? I have a villa in Danding City and a residence in Dongxian City, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, I'll accompany my old neighbor. I'll go next time. I'll definitely go next time, Papagu said. After his dantian was repaired, Papagu's state of mind had changed. Without cultivation, it was a good choice to die of old age here. However, now that he could cultivate, he needed to broaden his horizons. He could not stay in one place forever. Then Chin, you'll accompany Papagu. I'll arrange the resources you need, Night Sorrow said to Chin. Brother, don't worry. I'll take good care of Papagu. Chin nodded. I won't force Papagu. Whenever you want to go, just go to Danding City and ask for the Longquan Villa. Then you can go there, Night Sorrow said. There's no need to go through so much trouble. Papagu, just go to any stronghold in the Medicine Valley and shout that I'm Night Sorrow's father. They'll send you to Danding City and wherever you want to go. There won't be any carelessness, Yang Lei said with a smile. Is it that useful? Papagu said with a smile. Chapter 510. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Shao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. It works in other places too? Papagu's eyes widened. Baidu search AI Go female sign Shao, say, www.taichuexis.com. The Medicine Valley is now one of the 7 superpowers in the Eastern Profound Domain. 13 is the Deputy Master of the Medicine Valley. In addition, 13 is familiar with the other sections. Of course, he can't be friends with the Scarlet Cloud sect. They can't wait to strangle 13 to death, Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow left this place less than 4 years ago and he already has his own destiny. Fortunately, I didn't insist on stopping him at that time. Otherwise, it would have really ruined everything, Papagu said with some emotion. Thus, if it wasn't for 13, the Medicine Valley might not exist today. It might have been swallowed by the Golden Flame sect, Yang Lei said with some emotion. Let's drink tea. Let's not talk about this, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow, you have to continue to work hard. When you have the ability, go and find your family. Which parents don't want their children? They just can't find you, so they have to find a way to spread the news of you. This way, your parents will know where you are and will come to find you, Papagu said. I already know my background, but it's very difficult to see them. Father, you don't have to worry about this, Night Sorrow said. Well, you're old now. You should know what to do and can arrange some things. Papagu nodded. Night Sorrow and the others stayed for 2 days before leaving Jiuan town. Before leaving, Night Sorrow gave Papagu some life spirit fluid to improve his physique. He also left some mid-grade crystals for Chin to take care of Papagu. 9th senior sister, your mounts are so beautiful and of such high levels, Guan Yi said with a smile. 13th junior brother gave them to 9th senior sister. In the future, 13th junior brother will get one for you, Yang Lei said with a smile. 9th senior sister, you make it sound like I'm a bird breeder. However, I'll definitely keep 12th senior brother's matter in mind, said Night Sorrow. 9th senior sister, why do I feel like 13 looks like my senior brother? Guan Yi said with a smile. 12, you are still the same as before. You can say anything without thinking. You haven't changed at all, Yang Lei said with a smile. But I've disappointed Master. Guan Ye's face showed a trace of bitterness. No, you're fine now. Master's disciples are all here. 13 disciples, each of whom has a bright future. I think Master is proud of this, Yang Lei said. While chatting, the group returned to Danding City. Everything is so strange, yet so familiar. Looking at Danding City, Guan Yi sighed. Why are you sighing? You're still young. Yang Lei glanced at Guan Yi. Ninth senior sister, our mounts won't be attacked, right? Guan Yi asked worriedly when he saw that the group had no intention of getting off their mounts. Of course not. Our mounts are registered in Danding City. They won't be attacked, Yang Lei said. That's good. Guan Yi said with a smile. Do you think ninth senior sister is the city lord for nothing? Actually, it's just a decoration. It's just a decoration, Yang Lei said with a smile. Love go little say n. Chu. After arriving at the teleportation portal, Yang Lei asked the elder guarding the portal if Yu Yangyu had returned. After confirming that Yu Yangyu was still at Danding Mountain, the four of them sat on their flying beasts and flew towards Danding Mountain. Ninth senior sister, I'm a little nervous. Will Master scold me? Guan Yi said. Don't be nervous. After what happened to you, Master flattened the Four Seas sect in a fit of rage. However, his originally black hair had some silver strands. Yang Lei said as she wiped the corners of her eyes. Guan Yi looked up at the sky, not allowing his tears to fall. He knew from his parents that his senior brothers and senior sisters had often visited his parents. This made him understand that even if he died, no one would forget about him. Just like this time, Yang Lei and Night Sorrow had also visited his parents. Soon, the group arrived at Danding Mountain and the Danding Main Hall. They did not see Yu Yangyu in the Danding Main Hall, but they saw Gong Xian. Eldest senior brother. Guan Ye's voice was choked when he saw Gong Xian. Little Yi? You're Little Yi. Gong Xian's voice was trembling. Eldest senior brother. I'm Little Yi. Do you still remember? When we were at Bamboo Forest Peak, I often hid eldest senior brother's rattan. Guan Yi looked at Gong Xian, his eyes filled with tears. After he joined the sect, it was mostly Gong Xian who taught him the skills, so some memories were especially vivid. Gong Xian stepped forward and hugged Guan Yi tightly. He patted Guan Ye's back hard, then stepped back and looked at Guan Yi. Can anyone tell me what's going on? It's a long story. Where's Master? Let's talk as we walk. Yang Lei said. Master is at Taishin Peak. Sixth senior sister didn't want Master to cultivate too hard, so she left Master at the bamboo forest hut. Let's go. Little Yi is back. This is great. Gong Xian said excitedly. Then, the five of them rode their mounts towards Taishin Peak. When they arrived at Taishin Peak, Gong Xian first sent someone to inform the other junior brothers to come over. Only then did he continue towards the bamboo forest hut. Inside the bamboo forest hut, Yu Yangyu was drinking tea and chatting with Aoi. At the same time, they were watching their disciples cultivate. Old 9 and 13 are back. Yu Yangyu stood up and looked at the sky. At that moment, Yang Lei, Night Sorrow, and the others landed on their mounts. Master, this disciple is unfilial. When he saw Yu Yangyu, Guan Yi took a few steps forward and knelt in front of Yu Yangyu. Little Yi, you're Little Yi. Hurry up and tell Master what's going on. Yu Yangyu reached out and helped Guan Yi up. Let ninth senior sister speak. Ninth senior sister knows better than I do, Guan Yi said. Master, please sit down first. It's a long story. Drink some tea first and I'll tell you later. Yang Lei helped Yu Yangyu to a chair. Little Yi, come to Master's side. Let Master take a look. Yu Yangyu beckoned Guan Yi over. At that moment, Night Sorrow's other senior brothers arrived one after another. When they saw Guan Yi, they were very surprised, as if they had seen a ghost. Yang Lei slowly explained the cause and process of Guan Ye's resurrection. She also explained it in detail. I'll see you for free. Little Yi, how's your recovery? Is everything normal? Yu Yangyu looked at Guan Yi and asked worriedly. My cultivation has increased a lot. My body is fine. It's just that sometimes my head hurts when I think too much. Guan Yi bowed. It's good that you're fine. The heavens are good to me, Yu Yangyu took a deep breath and shouted, releasing the emotions that he had suppressed for a long time. It's this disciple's fault. I've disappointed Master, Guan Yi said. It's good that you're back. Wu Qi, take care of Little Yi. Let him settle down first, Yu Yangyu said to Wu Qi. Don't worry, Master. I'll take care of it. Wu Qi smiled at Guan Yi. 12, you're back. Our second young master Tai Xian can run rampant in Jianghu again, Imochen said excitedly. Chapter 511. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Yeah. In terms of strength, we're not as good as 13. In terms of elegance, we're not as good as 13. Forget about Tai Xian, Imochen said, rubbing his nose. Tonight we'll drink here. Without Huanan, there's nothing we can do about it, Yu Yangyu said. Then they chatted casually. Imochen pulled Guan Yi aside and started talking nonsense, but everyone listened. They all knew that Guan Yi needed time to adapt. Sister Lingfei, I heard from 9th senior sister that I delayed you and 11th senior brother. I'm sorry. Guan Yi cupped his hands. Don't say that. Now that we're all together, we're the happiest. Chu Lingfei smiled. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow brought Yang Lei and Sikong Chu back to Bamboo Forest Peak. The party was to be held at night. You said you saw a ferocious ghost line. Let's go check it out. We have flying mounts anyway, so it's not dangerous. After returning to Bamboo Forest Peak, Yang Lei remembered what Night Sorrow said about Tai Chuan. The ghost line she mentioned was the Earth Dragon Worm, but the name was different. Okay, let's go check it out. I've been back so many times, but I've never thought about it, Night Sorrow said. Then, the three of them rode their mounts to the valley behind Bamboo Forest Peak. In the past, Night Sorrow would have taken a long time to travel 100 miles. Now that he had a rank 5 flying mount, it was only a matter of minutes. Looking down from the cliff, the valley was covered in fog. They couldn't see the bottom, but the Earth Dragon Worm was still there. Its two thick antennae were still waving. This trash can reach rank 4. It's unimaginable. Yang Lei looked at the wriggling body of the Earth Dragon Worm and sighed. Forget it, there's no point in killing it. Let's go down to the cave and see if we can continue exploring, Night Sorrow said. The improvement of his cultivation had changed Night Sorrow's perspective. He no longer had any interest in hunting Earth Dragon Worms, which did not have much combat power. In addition, Night Sorrow was also very grateful to the Earth Dragon Worm for dragging him down, allowing him to obtain the opportunity. From then on, his fate had completely changed. The three of them rode their mounts to the platform outside the cave where Feng Chen was resting. The small platform couldn't hold large mounts like Tianyu, the dark-feathered eagle, and the fire phoenix. The three of them put away their mounts in the air and flew to the platform. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao, say, www.taichuexis.com. Night Sorrow, did you fall down here from above? Sikong Chu asked. Yes, Tianyu and I both fell here. Night Sorrow nodded. You're really lucky that you didn't fall to your death and didn't fall to the bottom, Yang Lei said. In fact, the chances of Night Sorrow falling to this platform were not high. If he missed by a bit, he would have fallen to the bottom of the canyon. Also, it was easy to fall to your death on this platform. You're really lucky. Sikong Chu nodded. Then, Night Sorrow brought the two girls into the cave and looked at the words left behind by Feng Chen. Nether beast, nether chi. What are those things? They even killed a senior with an unknown cultivation level. Yang Lei said with some surprise. I don't know either. I've never heard of it. Sikong Chu shook his head. Since we're here, let's go investigate. Night Sorrow looked at the two girls and said, 7 G addition, that's fine. Our mounts are of a high level. It should be fine. Yang Lei nodded. After making a decision, the three of them left the cave and flew down the canyon on their flying beasts. It was impossible to estimate how deep the canyon was. The three of them flew for a while on their mounts. The bottom was still foggy, but the canyon was much smaller. It was like a deep well. We've descended by at least 200 miles. What's going on? It's all foggy? Yang Lei said. There's such a place in the Medicine Valley. No one knows about it and no one came to investigate? Sikong Chu asked. Taishan Peak is a forbidden area. The Cloud Sea Peak opposite must have a similar warning, so no one would come here for no reason, Yang Lei said. Then the three of them continued to fly down. As they went deeper and deeper, the canyon became smaller and smaller. Do you feel it? There's something wrong with the aura, Yang Lei said. Yes, the energy in my body is suppressed. My mount is also suppressed, Sikong Chuyu said. The depth is still unknown. 13 We can't go on. If we continue to dive, our mounts won't be able to take it. Also, our combat strength will be suppressed, Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. Okay, let's go back first. There's a celebration party for 12th senior brother tonight. We can't miss it, Night Sorrow said. In fact, Night Sorrow didn't want to leave just like that. He didn't feel the attribute suppression, and neither did Tianyu. However, he felt the suppression on Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. Their mounts were also suppressed. Then, the three of them rode their mounts into the air. The speed of ascending was much faster than diving. Then, the three of them returned to the bamboo tower on the bamboo forest peak. That place down there definitely isn't a good place. We should stay away, Yang Lei said. The attribute isn't right. I have the sky blue water attribute. Advanced attributes can't suppress me unless it's an extreme attribute. Do you think the netherworld energy recorded by Elder Feng Chen is an extreme attribute of the death attribute? Sikong Chuyu asked. It's possible. Aside from the supreme attribute, only the extreme attributes of the advanced attributes can suppress you. The supreme attribute is the void attribute and the destruction attribute. Below is obviously not the extreme attribute. It must be the extreme attribute of the advanced attribute, and the death attribute is the closest, Yang Lei said. We don't need to make wild guesses. When we return to Dongxian City, we can just ask Auntie Fei, Night Sorrow said. The ancient river isn't a simple place. Even if we go there again, we have to be careful. Night Sorrow, I know you are a little unwilling, but you have to promise us that you won't act recklessly. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said, I understand. I won't joke with my life. Things that involve the ancient era aren't simple. Night Sorrow nodded. This is also a hidden concern for the Medicine Valley. Sikong Chuyu was a little worried. Just like Night Sorrow said, things that involve the ancient era weren't simple. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yang Lei was very open-minded. The three of them chatted for a while. Night Sorrow began to practice his spear skills. His spear skills were already very smooth. Night Sorrow had to rely on the human spear unity to enter the unity of heaven and man. Once he reached the unity of heaven and man realm, when his cultivation reached a certain level, becoming an honorable would be a matter of course. Chapter 5:12. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go? We will provide you with wonderful novels to read. After practicing the spear art, Night Sorrow shared his idea with Yang Lei, Yu Si, and Sikong Chu. This was an effective way to cultivate. After achieving one with the spear, Night Sorrow felt that his realm had increased very quickly. After using the power of the soul, he could even control the energy fluctuations around the reincarnation spear. When he could merge the power of the soul with the heaven and earth, he would be able to control the heaven and earth. That would be the realm of one with the heavens. Not bad, this is a good idea. Then let's study one with the sword. This is definitely a shortcut. You can find a shortcut to cultivating the soul, and you can also find a good way to cultivate the realm. I really admire you, Sikong Chuyu said. Hee, I was just lucky. You too can try, Night Sorrow said. Then, the three of them cultivated for a while and arrived at the small building in the bamboo forest. At this moment, in the small building in the bamboo forest, Yu Yangyu's second-generation disciples from Taishan Peak were all drinking tea and chatting, except for Huanan. In the past, when you didn't have any achievements, I looked forward to your achievements. But now that you have to go your separate ways. It's really hard to be satisfied with both sides. Yu Yangyu looked at his disciples and said with some emotion. After hearing Yu Yangyu's words, Gong Xian and the others didn't say anything because Yu Yangyu was telling the truth. These days, everyone was busy with their own things and didn't have much time to meet each other. Fu 3. Original 2 version. Don't be like this. I'm just a little emotional. It's a good thing that you have a bright future. Looking at the Medicine Valley, who can compare with me? All 13 disciples are elites, and more than half of them have reached the 5th rank. I'm proud of you, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Everyone drank happily. Guan Ye's resurrection was a big deal in their hearts. It made up for the regret of Taishin Peak. After chatting, everyone started to drink. However, Yu Yangyu didn't stop them because they had a good relationship. Night Sorrow was also ruthless. He directly knocked down Tao Yuan, Zhou Jing and Lu Peng. 13. You're too arrogant. 8th senior brother will fight it out with you. Shi Tianlin stood out, wanting to continue fighting with Night Sorrow. 8th senior brother, you guys are too shameless. Do you think that 13 has no one on his side? 9th junior sister, I'll drink with you. Yang Lei rolled up her sleeves and said, No way. Your family is too arrogant. What are our senior brothers waiting for? Hurry up and beat them up. Shi Tianlin roared. 8th junior brother, this is too embarrassing. 2nd senior brother can't hold his liquor well, so he's a bit dizzy. Wu Qi immediately backed out. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say, www.taichuexis.com, 8th junior brother, I can't hold my liquor. Why don't you do it? Huangyan said. 11th junior brother, come here. Shi Tianlin looked at Emo Chin. 8th senior brother, forget it. 13 is still fine. 2 more won't be a problem. Then there's 9th senior sister and sister Chuyu. You know the result. Emo Chin shook his head. But you guys don't have the code of brotherhood. Shi Tianlin curled his lips and said, If we have the code of brotherhood, we'll lose face with you? Look at you senior brothers. I'm impressed. Gong Xian looked at Shi Tianlin and said, 13, I'll let you off today. Shi Tianlin curled his lips and said, 8th junior brother, this is because no one is with you. If someone is with you, I will be with 13th junior brother, Qing Ji said with a smile. The group drank until late at night before going to rest. Night Sorrow and the other 2 also returned to the bamboo forest peak. Without resting, Night Sorrow pulled the 2 girls to his bamboo house. A crazy night was inevitable. After dawn, Night Sorrow began to cultivate his spear arts. After Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu washed up, they watched Night Sorrow cultivate. Chuyu, it's a good thing we're together. Otherwise, it would have been terrible. My waist still hurts. Yang Lei said. Sikong Chuyu blushed and nodded. She knew this was the truth. Night Sorrow was really strong in that aspect. When Night Sorrow was cultivating, Aoi and Guan Yi came over. Everyone sat down and chatted while drinking tea. 6th senior sister, there's something I need to trouble you with. Night Sorrow put away his spear and said, What is it? You don't have to be so polite with me. Aoi said with a smile. Night Sorrow said that he needed level 2 and level 3 supplementary pills for Papa Gu and Chin Chin. That's not a big deal. I'll send someone to deliver it later when I'm done preparing. You don't have to worry about it. Don't talk about low-level medicinal pills. You can leave some 5th-level medicinal pills with me. I still have a lot of them, Qing Ji said. I still have level 5 pills. Night Sorrow took out some clear void pills and great void pills and gave them to Aoi. You're really rich. 12th junior brother, did you see that? This is 13. Senior brother and senior sister were able to reach level 5 and improve their cultivation quickly because of 13's resources. I now understand 13th junior brother's prowess. Guan Yi said with a smile. 12th, the resources that 13th junior brother prepared for us are all with me. If you need any pills in the future, you can ask me for them. Aoi said to Guan Yi. 6th senior sister, if there's nothing else, you can go to Dongxian City. We also have a mansion there. You can bring your disciples there. Night Sorrow said to Aoi. I'll look for you when I want to go. Those little guys are still occupying your Longquan courtyard. Aoi said with a smile. I don't want to live there. It doesn't matter who lives there. Whenever 12th senior brother wants to move, you can look for me in Dongxian City. Night Sorrow said to Guan Yi. Of course. We're all brothers. I won't be polite. Guan Yi nodded. 13. Stay for a while before returning to Dongxian City. Aoi was reluctant to let Night Sorrow leave. Sixth senior sister, I have to take responsibility. I'm now a member of Tianji Tower and the captain of the Blood Strike Guards. There are some things that I can't avoid, Night Sorrow said. Sixth senior sister understands and supports you. This is what a man should do. Aoi nodded. After a while, Aoi and Guanyi left. She had only brought Guanyi over to take a look. My cultivation isn't high enough, and Master forbade me from leaving. Otherwise, I would have gone to Dongxian City and become a soldier under 13. Didn't you hear eldest senior brother say that 13th's team was the strongest when it came to killing dark creatures? Killing rank 5 dark creatures was as easy as pie. That's what a real man is, Guanyi said with some yearning. Don't compare yourself to 13. He's strong at fighting above his level. He can even survive an attack from a venerable. However, you should know that there's only one 13 in Medicine Valley, and there's only one Night Sorrow in the Eastern Xian region, Aoi said. I know. That's why I yearn for it. A real man should be like that. However, I'll cultivate steadily until I reach rank 5 before venturing out, Guanyi said. 13 has sacrificed too much in the past few years. You can say that he spent his time cultivating and fighting. Back then, when I was with him and watched him cultivate, my heart ached for him, Aoi said. Others only see the bright side. It's hard for them to see the painful side. He cultivated for less than 4 years, yet he has achieved so much. He must have sacrificed several times more than others, Guanyi said. Chapter 5:13. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. Sixth senior martial sister, I don't quite understand what you mean. Guanyi said. Junior martial brother 13 is not only the Vice Valley Lord of our Medicine Valley. I heard from eldest senior martial brother that he has a very close relationship with Tianji Tower and the City Lord Mansion. Even the elders of Eastern Xian City have to give him face. He is the leader of the Tianji Tower's elite team. This means that he also has a very high status in the Tianjin Tower. Therefore, these two forces will take care of Night Sorrow's safety. Whoever wants to touch him will have to think twice. Aoi explained. This is 13's ability. Guanyi said with a smile. Night Sorrow also planned to leave after talking to the two women. He did not have the intention to go to Pilding Cliff. He planned to go there after reaching the peak of the Void Inquiry stage. Even if the 8-Dragon Cauldron did not recognize him as its master, he could still communicate with it and ask it to contribute more to the Medicine Valley. After all, something like the Time Pagoda was still possible. After packing up, Night Sorrow brought the two women to the small house in the bamboo forest to bid farewell to Yu Yangyu and his senior martial brothers. Then, they flew towards Pilding City. 12th's resurrection is really delightful. It can also be said that the knot in Master's heart has been untied. Yang Lei said, I didn't have any feelings for 12th senior martial brother in the past. But now I like him more. Night Sorrow said. After getting along with him for a few days, Night Sorrow also understood Guanyi's character. Guanyi was simple and straightforward. He was very easy to get along with. It's good that you can accept it. The first thing Master looks at when accepting a disciple is their temperament. Therefore, our senior martial brothers and sisters don't have any flaws in temperament. Yang Lei said. After arriving at Pilding City, they did not go to the Dragon Spring courtyard. Instead, they directly took the teleportation formation to Eastern Xian City. After arriving at Eastern Xian City, the three of them walked back to Qing Xan courtyard while shopping. After returning to the Qingxin Villa, Night Sorrow first checked on the cultivation progress of the Blood Strike Guards and the Tianji Tower brothers. After looking around, Night Sorrow discovered that the members of the Blood Strike Guard had all reached Tier 5. Only Qingjin was at the Severed Soul stage. Qingjin could also be considered a member of the Tianji Tower team. Tianji Tower was a little behind. Lei Bao and Lei Zheng were very close to the 5th stage, but they had not reached it yet. Ho Qingjie was a little behind, but everyone's progress was already very fast. After all, they had only been cultivating for a short period of time. Junior brother Night Sorrow, you're really something. You ran for half a month and left your guests here? Ling Long appeared with an ugly expression on her face. Clearly, she was angry with Night Sorrow. Guests? Senior Sister Ling Long, are you still a guest? This place is no different from your own home, Night Sorrow said. You're quite reasonable. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Ling Long couldn't refute, but she still looked angry. Night Sorrow smiled. There's nothing to be angry about. Let's go to the back and have some tea. When they arrived at the main building in Night Sorrow's backyard, he took out a tea set and began to brew tea. After drinking a pot of tea, Ling Long left. She was a little dissatisfied, but she also knew that Night Sorrow hadn't done anything wrong. Night Sorrow expressed a friendly attitude, and the matter was over. Damn, I don't know how I provoked her, Night Sorrow said as he looked at the teacup in his hand. We didn't do anything wrong, but from her point of view, we neglected her, Sikong Chuyu said. Maybe. She should understand that I have my own things to do. I can't just lie in the mansion all the time, Night Sorrow said with a smile. While the three of them were talking, Ning Qingfeng came in. Night Sorrow, there have been people coming to see Chuyu for the past 2 days. Chapter 221. Last chapter? KW, who is it? Night Sorrow asked. It's a middle-aged woman. I can't see through her cultivation, but she's very polite, Ning Qingfeng said. I don't know who it is. Night Sorrow thought for a moment, but couldn't think of a reason. She'll probably come again. She's been coming almost every day for the past 2 days. 13 Chuyu, do you want to see her? If not, I'll continue to refuse, Ning Qingfeng said. There's no need. We don't have anyone we can't see, Night Sorrow said. If she comes again, I'll bring her here. Ning Qingfeng said and left. Night Sorrow is very likely to be from the Sikong family, Sikong Chu said. So what? If you don't go back, who can come and take her away? Night Sorrow said. Jiyu's family suffered a blow. They probably won't force me to marry again. I'm just afraid that my parents will ask me to go back, Sikong Chu said. If they ask you to go back, then go back. It's fine as long as they don't force you, Night Sorrow said. You idiot. If I go back and the other elders in the family don't approve of you, then what? Can't we be together? Sikong Chu looked at Night Sorrow with some annoyance. Don't worry. When the time comes, Aunt Fei will arrange for someone to follow Night Sorrow to the Sikong family. The Sikong family is very powerful in the Qingtian region, but it won't go as far as to not give face to Tianjin Tower. After Sikong Chuyu finished speaking and Night Sorrow was thinking about how to deal with it, Wu Lingfei walked in. Aunt Fei, you're here? Night Sorrow and the other two stood up to greet her. I went out to check on the situation outside. Everything went well, so I came back. You don't have to worry about Chuyu. Let nature take its course, Sikong Chuyu said. Thank you, Auntie Fei, Yishang said. The key is Chuyu's parents' attitude. You don't have to care about other people's opinions. In terms of excellence, you're not inferior to anyone. In terms of family background, you're my relative. Anyone can try to look down on you, Wu Lingfei said. Then I'm at ease. By the way, I have something to ask Aunt Fei. Please take a seat. Night Sorrow pulled out a chair for Wu Lingfei and poured her a cup of tea. What do you want to say? Wu Lingfei said. Aunt Fei, what are the extreme attributes of the death attribute? Night Sorrow asked. It's the darkness attribute and the netherworld attribute. They're also known as the darkness-killing qi and the netherworld baleful qi. Why do you ask? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. A few days ago, I saw an energy that could suppress Chuyu's water attribute. I suspect it's the extreme attribute of the death attribute, Night Sorrow said. The extreme attribute of the high level? That's a very serious problem. Tell me, what's going on? Wu Lingfei frowned. Night Sorrow then told her about ancient Taichuan. I hope there's no problem. There are some things you don't know. Taichuan is the battlefield between the 9 regions world and the netherworld. The netherworld is very strong, but during that era, our 9 regions world had an era-suppressing expert. That's why our 9 regions world didn't lose. However, the entrance shouldn't be in the eastern Xian region, said Wu Lingfei. Then where is the entrance? Asked Night Sorrow. Chapter 5:14. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Wait until my cultivation base improves a bit more, then I'll go take a look. This is still a problem, Night Sorrow said. All right then, Auntie Faye won't go there. Once your cultivation is high enough, you can go investigate and tell Auntie Faye the results. We don't need to care about other places, but the Eastern Xian region must be stabilized, said Wuling Fei. Okay, is Auntie Faye's protective artifact good? Night Sorrow nodded. From Wuling Fei's words, he understood Wuling Fei's sense of responsibility. It's useful. The polar lunar wheel is a sacred treasure. Although it is inferior to the space-time pagoda in terms of overall strength, it is not bad in terms of pure attack and defense. Wuling Fei stood up and waved her hand. A crescent-shaped moon appeared out of thin air. Wuling Fei's body was in the empty space of the crescent-shaped moon. Original version Icherthan, the full moon quickly spun around Wuling Fei, and a half-moon slashed out. The half-moon slashed out, and a black spatial crack appeared behind it. After unleashing a crescent moon slash, concubine Wuling Fei waved her arm and recalled the polar moon wheel. It's too beautiful. Its attack and defense are also very shocking. Yang Lei's eyes were filled with astonishment. If I were to fight Saint Skyscraping now, it would be hard to say who would have the upper hand. After all, the space-time pagoda doesn't belong to Auntie Faye, so they can't truly communicate with each other. Love go little, Wuling Fei said with a smile. Tianji Tower's foundation is really deep. They even have such a magical weapon. Night Sorrow sighed with emotion. Actually, the full moon chakram was originally a pair. Aside from the polar moon chakram, there was also a true moon chakram. However, the true moon chakram was lost along with the palace lord during the ancient times. The true moon chakram was the main chakram, and this polar moon chakram was the subsidiary chakram, Wuling Fei said. Then the true moon wheel will be even stronger? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. Yes, the power is different. Wuling Fei nodded. Auntie Fei, I have the Golden Phoenix flexible armor and the space-time treasure pagoda to protect me. There is no difference whether I use the Ice Silkworm flexible armor or not. I want to give it to my 9th senior sister. This way, she can increase her ability to protect herself and I can feel more at ease, Night Sorrow said. You have the space-time treasure pagoda to protect you, so you should be able to protect yourself. If the space-time treasure pagoda can't protect you, then the Ice Silkworm soft clothes are useless. Wuling Fei nodded, agreeing with Night Sorrow's opinion. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao, say, www.taichuexis. Calm Night Sorrow entered the bamboo house and took off the ice silk robe. Then he handed it over to Wuling Fei. Wuling Fei then helped Yang Lei register the ice silk robe. Yang Lei already has a protective spirit artifact, so it's not suitable for Chu Yu to not have one. This is the snow scale arm guard. After activating it, its effects are not bad. Aunt Fei will also help you recognize it as your master. After speaking, Wuling Fei took out an arm guard made of white scales. Then, she helped Sikong Chuyu register the ice silk robe. Thank you, Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow and the other two bowed to Wuling Fei. You're welcome. Aunt Fei has no use for these things. In the future, if I don't hand them over to Tianji Tower, I'll leave them for the City Lord's palace. In addition, in a few days, Aunt Fei plans to destroy the Death Space Dark Overlord connected to the Island of Darkness, Wuling Fei said. Aunt Fei can go in? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. That space is not a large space. The power of the space passage connecting it to the 9-domain world is not very strong. It should be within Aunt Fei's range of tolerance. However, the avatar is still lacking, so only the main body can go, Wuling Fei said. Then I'm relieved, Night Sorrow said. When Aunt Fei familiarizes herself with the extreme moon wheel, we'll set off, Wuling Fei said. Can I go too? Night Sorrow asked excitedly. Of course, there are still some treasures in an uninhabited space. Don't you want them? Anyway, Aunt Fei can bring one person in, Wuling Fei said with a smile. Go. How can I not go? Night Sorrow said excitedly. It was rare to see a battle between top experts. Afterward, Wu Lingfei went to the observation tower to cultivate. Night Sorrow and the other two chatted for a while before returning to their rooms to cultivate. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu both wanted to feel the protective spirit artifacts. After cultivating the foundation for a night, Night Sorrow began to cultivate his spear arts in the courtyard. After cultivating his spear arts, Night Sorrow was drinking tea with the two girls. Ning Qingfeng brought a middle-aged woman to the backyard of Qingxin courtyard. "Auntie Tianyu, why have you come?" Seeing this woman, Sikong Chuyu happily greeted her. Sikong Tianyu was not on the same side as Sikong Tianjing and Sikong Tianhua, who had forced her. It could be said that she was an elder who was very close to Sikong Tianding. "I missed you, my baby. If I didn't come out to find you, would I expect you to go back?" Sikong Tianyu said with a smile. "Night Sorrow, ninth senior sister, this is my Aunt Tianyu. She loves me very much," Sikong Chuyu said happily. "Greetings, Senior Tianyu." Night Sorrow and Yang Lei both stood up and saluted. "Chuyu, why don't you introduce him to your aunt?" Sikong Tianyu said with a smile on her face. "Aunt, then I will introduce him directly. This is Night Sorrow, and he is also someone I approve of. We are already together. This is Yang Lei, Night Sorrow's ninth senior sister. We are good sisters," Sikong Chuyu said. Aunt already understands the situation very well. Yi Shang is very good. Aunt also knows about the relationship between Yang Lei and the two of you. Aunt didn't come with the intention of breaking up the two of you. However, since the patriarch has spoken, Aunt can't possibly not come, right? Sikong Tianyu said. "What does the old ancestor mean?" Sikong Chuyu asked. "The old ancestor doesn't know about your situation. He said that no one will force you in the future, but the husband you find must be approved by him," Sikong Tianyu said. "Then Aunt, do you think he can pass?" Sikong Chuyu pointed at Night Sorrow and asked. "Personally, there is nothing to say. If he can't, then no one can. But you have to know that some people in the family value their family background very much," Sikong Tianyu said after some hesitation. "Family background? Which big family doesn't have their ancestors who worked hard from nothing?" "This way of thinking is wrong," Sikong Chuyu said with some anger. "Don't be angry with your aunt. I'm just here to pass on a message. I'm not here to force you to do anything. Hurry up and make some tea. Your family is really hard to enter." Sikong Tianyu found a seat and sat down. "I'm not going back. As for family background, Night Sorrow's family background is not bad either. It's just that it's not convenient to say. It would shock people to death. Even Jiyu's family is not good enough," Sikong Chuyu said while making tea. "Is it that scary?" "You can't lie to your aunt," Sikong Tianyu said with some surprise. "I'm not lying to my aunt. There's no need. We don't plan to say it either. Besides, the Dongxian city's city lord is Night Sorrow's aunt. Is that enough?" Sikong Chuyu said. Chapter 515. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with interesting novels to read. I'm not going back. Auntie can say that she didn't see me and only went to investigate the situation. She can report the situation to the old ancestor and the family. Sikong Chuyu said. "All right, who asked you to be Auntie's precious niece? We'll do as you say." Sikong Tianyu said. "Thank you, senior." Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Sikong Tianyu. He could tell that Sikong Tianyu was truly looking out for Sikong Chuyu. "You don't mind calling me Auntie, right?" Sikong Tianyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow greets Auntie Tianyu. Night Sorrow bowed. "Auntie, ninth senior sister, is the same as me. She's willing to follow Night Sorrow. We're a family." Sikong Chuyu introduced Yang Lei to Sikong Tianyu again. Yang Lei greets Auntie Tianyu. Yang Lei said to Sikong Tianyu, "If it were any other girl, I would definitely feel wronged. But now, I don't think so. I just feel that this kid got off too easy. But he's really outstanding. Auntie is happy to see you guys getting along so well." Sikong Tianyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow then asked someone to arrange a guest room for Sikong Tianyu. According to Sikong Tianyu's intention, she wanted to waste some time and go back to report. After making arrangements for Sikong Tianyu, Night Sorrow continued to cultivate. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Sikong Tianyu also came to watch and nodded from time to time. She was an elder of the Sikong family and also one of the honorables of the Sikong family. She had a good eye. She could clearly see Night Sorrow's strength and potential. On this day, while Night Sorrow was cultivating, Wu Lingfei appeared. When she appeared, she was wearing a veil. "Auntie Fei is here." Night Sorrow and the other two greeted. Wu Lingfei nodded and looked at Sikong Tianyu. "Sikong clan, Sikong Tianyu greets senior." Sikong Tianyu bowed because she couldn't tell how strong Wu Lingfei was. "I know why you're here. Don't mention anything about Night Sorrow and Chu Yu's family background. It's meaningless. There should be someone called Sikong Luyun in your family. Tell him that I'm the Golden Phoenix and Night Sorrow are my only family. That should be enough," Wu Lingfei said. "Sikong Tianyu understands. I will report back." Sikong Tianyu was extremely shocked. In the Nine Regions world, perhaps only a few people knew of the name Wu Lingfei, but at the level of supremacy, everyone knew of the name Golden Phoenix. It was a taboo among supremacies. "All right, Night Sorrow, follow Auntie Fei to the Dark Island. Let's clear it out." Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. "Is latest chapter, section T, J above 9-inch alright?" Night Sorrow was extremely excited. Knowing that Wu Lingfei was sure to win, he was looking forward to a top-level battle. Wu Lingfei waved her arm and wrapped Night Sorrow in her arms, leaving the mansion. "Chu Yu, even if you go home with me, no one can confine you. Even the old ancestor has to give face to Lord Golden Phoenix. I can't tell how strong she is even with my cultivation," Sikong Tianyu said, looking in the direction Wu Lingfei left. "Auntie, the family doesn't know that Lord Golden Phoenix is the one who defeated Qingtian Saint from Qingtian region?" Sikong Tianyu asked. "The family received news of the battle between Eastern Xian region and Qingtian region, but we only know that Eastern Xian region sent out a saint and forced Qingtian's saint to retreat. We don't know the details or your relationship." Sikong Tianyu shook her head. At that time, Auntie Fei had just entered the saint realm for half a month and didn't have a suitable saint treasure in hand. Now that Auntie Fei's cultivation has stabilized and she has a top-level saint treasure in hand, why don't you let Qingtian saint try again? Sikong Tianyu said. She had absolute confidence in Wu Lingfei. Baidu search AI Go Xiao Shira www.baidu.com. Lord Golden Phoenix was an invincible venerable when she was at the venerable realm. Naturally, it won't be a problem for her to enter the saint realm. Do you want to go home? I don't think there will be any problems with the family, Sikong Tianyu said. I don't want to go back for the time being. When Night Sorrow is stronger, I'll ask him to propose marriage, Sikong Tianyu said with a red face. Alright, I'll go back first. The results of this investigation will shock the family, Sikong Tianyu said. After chatting with Sikong Tianyu for a while, Sikong Tianyu left Qingshin courtyard. She was very happy that her niece had a good home. She was very satisfied with Night Sorrow. Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow to the teleportation formation and teleported to Linhai City. Then, Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow and flew toward the Dark Island. This time, Wu Lingfei didn't fly high in the sky. She was a saint and had mastered the power of rules. She could resist and ignore the attacks of the Realm Sea. Similarly, Night Sorrow had the Void Fate Pearl to protect his Spirit Sea, so he wasn't afraid of the attacks of the Realm Sea. After becoming a saint, Wu Lingfei flew at full speed and covered a distance of several thousand kilometers in a very short time. The Blood Strike Guards of the City Lord Mansion were guarding the Dark Island. There were 3 venerable commanders. When they saw Wu Lingfei arrive, they all bowed to greet her. Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow to the entrance of the spatial tunnel. She merged the clone that was sitting cross-legged into her body. Then she pulled Night Sorrow to her side and propped up a light green protective shield. She then struck the space with her right hand. Following Wu Lingfei's palm, the energy within the spatial tunnel began to riot. Seeing the energy riot, Wu Lingfei pulled Yishang into the spatial tunnel. Standing beside Wu Lingfei, Night Sorrow felt countless ripples of energy attack Wu Lingfei's protective shield. However, they were all blocked. Soon, the two of them stood in the death space. Aunt Faye, you came in so quickly? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. This is the power of darkness mixed with the power of death. It's suppressed by the power of life, so it can't do anything to you, Wu Lingfei said. Then we'll go now? Night Sorrow said. Let's go and get rid of that fella first. We'll continue to search for resources here. As Wu Lingfei spoke, she killed all the darkness creatures near the spatial tunnel. After that, Night Sorrow pointed in a direction. Wu Lingfei brought Night Sorrow and flew towards the location of the Dark Heaven Vault. Night Sorrow had to fly for 3 to 4 days with his Tianyu. Wu Lingfei only used 2 hours to arrive. Aunt Faye, we're a few hundred miles away. Night Sorrow said. Aunt Faye can feel it. In a while, when Aunt Faye fights with it, you can enter the space-time pagoda and use your soul force to observe the battle. You can learn from it. Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. I understand. Aunt Faye, you have to pay attention to your safety. Night Sorrow said. Let's go over. The death energy here is really dense. After saying that, Wu Lingfei brought Night Sorrow and flew. Wu Lingfei only needed a few breaths of time to cover a distance of a few hundred miles. After they arrived, Wu Lingfei casually tossed Night Sorrow onto an ancient tree. After that, she soared into the air. At this moment, the figure below the crack in the heaven vault also stood up. Who are you? You dare to come to this seat's place? Are you courting death? This was a man with tattoos on his face. He stared at Wu Lingfei and roared. Chapter 5:16. A genius remembers love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Do you think you can be arrogant just because you're a saint? You've just entered the saint realm, so it's not a big deal. I, the Black Shadow Venerable, will let you try. A venerable can also kill a saint. The middle-aged man left the mountain and rushed towards Wu Lingfei. At this moment, Night Sorrow noticed that this man was not ordinary. It was over 6 meters tall and had a pair of large curved horns on its head. The horns were densely packed with veins. At this time, Wu Lingfei attacked. Her left hand slapped forward, and the ordinary protective chi shield around her body changed into a light green life chi shield. At this moment, the Black Shadow Venerable was attacking Wu Lingfei with the strong death chi. In order to avoid being attacked by the death chi, it was best for her to use the protective chi cover of the nature of life to restrain the nature of death. As Wu Lingfei's palm struck out, a world of ice and snow appeared in front of her, sealing the death energy and preventing it from reaching her. After stabilizing the situation, Wu Lingfei once again used Ice Seal. Wu Lingfei froze the Black Shadow Venerable twice in a row. Then Wu Lingfei began to rush forward and froze the Black Shadow Venerable again. Wu Lingfei didn't freeze the Black Shadow Venerable directly, but she managed to keep him within a certain range. Then Wu Lingfei waved the long sword in her right hand. The green sword light cut through the death energy and went directly to the Black Shadow Venerable. Starting 3A, the Black Shadow Venerable waved his right hand and slashed out his saber. The sword light and saber light collided, and then both of them were shattered. Even if you have grasped the power of rules, it's useless. Today you must die. As Wu Lingfei spoke, the chains of rules of life appeared. A dozen chains of rules of life whipped towards the Black Shadow Saint. Saint of Life, you are the Saint of Life? The Black Shadow Venerable was shocked. High-level attributes were very rare, not to mention the attribute of life that could restrain him. It was hard for him to accept this. That's right. So, from the moment you allowed the dark creatures in the space to attack our world, your fate was sealed. Wu Lingfei said while attacking. Don't push me too far, the Black Shadow Venerable roared. Didn't you want to kill a saint? Today I will kill you. Wu Lingfei roared, and the polar moon wheel behind her flew out. The polar moon wheel moved so fast that it cut through the middle of the Black Shadow Venerable's body. Ah! The Black Shadow Venerable screamed, I'm immortal. Come on. After the Black Shadow Venerable screamed and roared, his body turned into a cloud of black mist and floated backward. The Black Shadow Venerable, who had turned into mist, was no longer affected. Both Wu Lingfei's sword light and the polar moon wheel went through the black mist. I don't believe I can't kill you. Wu Lingfei let out a roar, and a green sea of life energy appeared, wrapping the black mist in it. Kill me? What a joke. My true form is the hidden fog beast. As long as the fog exists, I will not die. What can you do to me? The voice came from the black fog. The hidden fog beast can turn into the black fog. After turning into the black fog, it can't attack and can't be attacked. But I can refine you slowly. Wu Lingfei's body shook as she transformed into a golden kingbird that was dozens of meters long. Next, the golden kingbird with the aura of a king screeched and opened its beak to suck the black mist into its body. After absorbing the black mist, the golden monarch bird let loose a cry before transforming back into the dancing spirit concubine. Wu Lingfei's figure flashed and landed in front of Yishang. Aunt Fei? Night Sorrow was shocked. Night Sorrow, are you scared? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm not scared. Because you care about me. Aunt Fei, are you okay? Night Sorrow was shocked and worried. I'm fine. Aunt Fei has a unique talent. The space in my body can refine it directly. This is also because I have a way to restrain it. Otherwise, ordinary saints wouldn't be able to do anything to it. Wu Lingfei said. Aunt Fei, be careful. Don't get turned over by it. Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei's delicate body and said, I won't. There are some things I haven't told you because I'm afraid you won't be able to accept it. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said, I won't. Everything has a spirit. There's no difference between humans and beasts. The only difference is evil and righteousness. Night Sorrow said, You're wrong. Beasts are a general term. In fact, there are also strange beasts and spirit beasts. Aunt Fei's true form is a golden phoenix, so her name is Golden Phoenix. If it's not necessary, Aunt Fei doesn't want to fight with her true form. After all, she's a human now. Wu Lingfei said, I understand. Aunt Fei, you have to pay attention to your body. Night Sorrow reminded Wu Lingfei. It's fine. No matter if it's its true form or its human form, it's a dead end. Right now, it only has half of its life left. We should be able to refine it before the sky turns dark. Wu Lingfei spoke. In that case, I can be at ease. Night Sorrow nodded, feeling much more at ease in his heart. After that, the two of them arrived at the bottom of the heaven vault. The law energy here is very strong. No wonder its cultivation base didn't rise, but its cultivation base is high enough. Luckily, we came in time. If we came late, this fellow would have entered the Saint Realm. At that time, things would truly be difficult to deal with. There are spirit stones and crystals below. However, it's very deep. After Wu Lingfei spoke, she got Night Sorrow to retreat. After that, she waved her hand and blasted the ground. Under Wu Lingfei's violent attacks, the peak of the mountain was flattened. After the time it takes to brew a cup of tea passed, Night Sorrow saw many spirit stones shining brightly. There were also darkness crystals and a small number of death crystals. Digging is too slow. Wait in the air and collect the spirit stones and crystals. After Wu Lingfei spoke, she waved her hand, causing the ground to shatter. The shattered rocks shot out in all directions as the spirit stones and crystals flew up into the air. Night Sorrow waved his hand and collected the spirit stones and crystals. An instant later, all the spirit stones and crystals were collected. Aunt Fei, there are so many spirit stones and crystals. After Wu Lingfei stopped, Night Sorrow took out the spirit stones and crystals he collected. There were over 20 peak-grade spirit stones, over 200 high-grade spirit stones, 50 to 60 darkness crystals, and over 20 death crystals. Not bad. Keep them. Wu Lingfei smiled. Aunt Fei, keep them. I have them. Night Sorrow shook his head. Give the peak-grade spirit stones to me. You can keep the rest. The people around you also need resources. Aunt Fei only cares about whether you have resources or not. You don't have to care about others. Wu Lingfei spoke. Aunt Fei, just tell me what you need. I have a lot of resources here. Night Sorrow said. I know you have. You gave me a lot of life crystals. It's enough. Wu Lingfei said. That's good. Night Sorrow nodded. Wu Lingfei sighed and said, Auntie Fei told you that after knowing you, Auntie Fei's path became much smoother. This is because I borrowed your luck. Otherwise, it would be too difficult to enter the Saint Realm. Aunt Fei, don't say that. I'm embarrassed. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Chapter 517. Genius 1 second remember love go/little? Here's a wonderful novel for you to read. Auntie Fei's true form is very beautiful, holy and majestic, even I want to worship you, Night Sorrow said with a smile. It's good that you think so. There aren't many people worthy of Auntie Fei's attention, and you are the only one I treat as family, so as long as you don't mind, Auntie Fei is very happy. Wu Lingfei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. In fact, she had been observing Night Sorrow's situation for a while to see if Night Sorrow would reject her because she was a spirit beast in human form. With her powerful soul force, Wu Lingfei didn't miss the slightest change in Night Sorrow's expression. She then found that Night Sorrow was only worried and didn't show any other emotional changes, which made her feel very relieved. Auntie Fei, don't think too much. I won't say anything about this matter, but if anyone dares to talk nonsense about it in the future, I will never let them go, Night Sorrow said. Good, Auntie Fei didn't dote on you for nothing, Wu Lingfei said with a smile on her face. Of course, Auntie Fei is my only auntie, Night Sorrow said. Then the two set up camp and fought for a while. Wu Lingfei had consumed a lot of her soul force, and she still had to refine the hidden fog beast. After setting up camp, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu to find a water source and made a pot of tea after returning. At that moment, Wu Lingfei walked out of the tent and waved her arm, causing a mass of death chi to appear and dissipate, but Wu Lingfei was holding a crystal core in her hand. Although this guy was a venerable, its crystal core was already a half-step Saint Crystal, Wu Lingfei said. Did you kill it? Night Sorrow asked. It couldn't be any more dead. It was arrogant and full of confidence because it thought its innate talent was too great and it couldn't be attacked by energy, but inside Auntie Fei's space, Auntie Fei directly crushed its soul with ice, so even if it didn't want to die, it was impossible. Wu Lingfei threw the half-step Saint Crystal to Yishan. Auntie Fei is so domineering. Night Sorrow gave Wu Lingfei a thumbs up and poured a cup of tea for her. The problem is solved. We'll search elsewhere tomorrow. As long as there are high-level dark and undead creatures, we'll eliminate them. We won't give them a chance to rise, Wu Lingfei said. After Auntie Fei clears out the high-level creatures here, our Eastern Xin region can use this place as a training ground. We can let rank 3 and rank 4 cultivators come here to gain experience. If we continuously attack and harvest, the dark creatures won't have any chance to rise. Night Sorrow spoke his thoughts. C. Only 1/8 is M, equals others are robbers plus K. That's a good idea. Let's do it this way. If cultivators keep coming in to train, the dark creatures won't be able to grow. Wu Lingfei agreed with Night Sorrow's idea. After a night's rest, Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow to walk in the dark space to collect materials and ores. Night Sorrow, you don't have to worry. When you enter the Venerable Realm, Auntie Fei will help you arrange for your reincarnation spear to advance. Lord K is a refiner. Our Tianji Tower also has resources stored. We can still order a spiritual weapon. In addition, other than the rough array engravings, the materials of your reincarnation spear are top-notch. It already has the strength of a spiritual weapon. Wu Lingfei noticed that Night Sorrow paid special attention to ores and ores. She understood Night Sorrow's thoughts. Auntie Fei knows what I'm worried about? I don't want to give up on the reincarnation spear, so I want to get some materials and think of a way to advance it in the future. Night Sorrow nodded and said, in terms of defense, you have the time-space treasure pagoda and the golden phoenix soft armor. It's enough. So if you care about refining materials, it can only be the reincarnation spear. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said with a smile, Auntie Fei, you said before that there's only one possibility for the golden phoenix soft armor to shatter. What's going on? Night Sorrow asked. The golden phoenix soft armor is actually formed from Auntie Fei's own feathers after she transformed. It's very flexible. If it shatters, it means that Auntie Fei has fallen. Otherwise, there won't be any problems. Wu Lingfei said. Then I understand. The Golden Phoenix soft armor will never shatter. Night Sorrow said as he reached out and touched the Golden Phoenix soft armor. Every day, he collected medicinal materials and refining materials during the day. At night, when they set up camp, Night Sorrow turned all of them into medicinal pills. During the day, Night Sorrow didn't make any moves. Those who weren't late 5th Order couldn't train him. And late 5th Order dark creatures were basically invisible. Half a month passed. Wu Lingfei and Night Sorrow went to the edge of the spatial barrier a few times. Wu Lingfei's speed was fast and her soul power was strong. The area covered by her soul power was huge. Therefore, the speed of her search was fast. Night Sorrow's cultivation base also improved rapidly. His true Qi cultivation base had also reached the peak of the 5th Order Void Inquiry stage. He could advance to the next realm at any time. His myriad Dao treasure cannon had also reached the 2nd Order Dao querying realm. This is an incomplete spatial zone. Other than the dark energy and death energy that descended from the heaven vault, the other energies here are very low. Therefore, there are fewer resources here. Wu Lingfei said. That's it then. We won't continue searching. We have to give the cultivators a chance. Night Sorrow said. Alright, let's go out then. There aren't any high-level dark creatures here. Our goal has been achieved. Wu Lingfei nodded. She admired Night Sorrow's magnanimity. After that, the two of them flew back to the entrance of the spatial passageway. Outside the spatial passageway, Wu Lingfei set up an illusion formation. Won't our people be affected if we come in? Night Sorrow asked. No. This formation only hides the location of the spatial passageway. The dark creatures won't be able to see the entrance of the spatial passageway from here. However, it won't affect our people. As soon as Wu Lingfei finished speaking, she put on her veil and brought Night Sorrow out of the spatial passageway. After exiting the spatial passageway, Wu Lingfei asked everyone to retreat, leaving only a small team to guard the passageway. After that, Wu Lingfei brought Night Sorrow back to Linhai City. The source of the disaster has been dealt with. We discovered it in time. If the hidden fog beast has really advanced to the Saint Realm, it would be quite troublesome to kill it. While flying with Night Sorrow, Wu Lingfei said. It's just that it's unlucky. Night Sorrow said. It's not that it's unlucky. It's the leader of this space. Those dark spirit corpses and rank 5 dark creatures should all be under its control. Those dark creatures attacked our Eastern Shen region because it sent them to scout ahead. It's preparing for its attack after advancing. It won't die if it doesn't do it. It's just that its time is up. Wu Lingfei said. Then it deserves to die. Night Sorrow said. From a righteous point of view, invading isn't righteous. That's why invading has always been a loss. Wu Lingfei said. In other words, they invaded the Eastern Shen region first, and we entered the dark space after. We didn't invade but counterattacked. That's why we won. Night Sorrow nodded. Yes, it's true that the bigger fist is the reason, but don't do things that go against the principles of righteousness and morality. It's not worth it, said Wu Lingfei to Yishang, reminding him. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.